How did you meet your fiancée?
Instagram.
What was the opener DM?
I think I just said American question mark. When I was in my 20s, I went on a survival tour. So I actually had my foot nibbled on by piranhas. Had like a face-off with a jaguar.
I've met the Attorney General once. He was at our event, at our RSD event.
Society is like a rotting corpse. Liberals are cheering for the maggots, and conservatives are cheering for the corpse.
It's women and children that are getting f***ed by that. And I'm like, that's unfair, because we should not force some crazy agenda, but we should actually celebrate our differences. And a society that is productive, efficient, and effective actually leverages the differences of the different genders. You need to have your ideas challenged all the times, and you want to challenge other people's ideas, because that's the only way to find the truth.
Would you ever run for politics in any sort of way?
Is this like a cool, is this the central area?
Yeah, well, like Marbella, technically it's a different town, right? Because Marbella is 10 minutes that way.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah, like Marbella is the 10 minutes that way. Like Puerto Banús is technically another little town. But it's all like, everyone lumps it together. And when people come to Marbella, they pretty much always come here because there's loads of bars and clubs along the port here. I don't know if you guys have walked around yet.
Yeah.
Like some great clubs down the beach here. Like it's Padel, which is the best gym on earth, is like a 30-minute walk.
Oh, I was there. Yeah. It's so
I mean, and it's quiet now. Like this is the quiet season, like where with like this peak season's kind of ended.
Oh no shit.
But man, that place is just crawling with tits and ass.
Yeah. I literally wrote to you. I'm like, I just found the best gym in the world. But
Told you.
But the thing is, I only saw dudes there. I saw a handful of girls, and they were all overweight. I mean, not saying that this is bad, but they weren't just not attractive. Like all the guys that were like 8-pack rips, and I'm like, if I was a girl here, I'll be so hyped.
But you feel like a fat bastard.
Yeah, I literally.
When you walk in that
what
place.
I felt like. It's so funny. Usually, I'm one of the fitter guys at any given gym, and here I'm like, because everybody takes their shirt off. You can train without shirts. I'm like, fuck yeah, shirt off. I'll take that opportunity. And I literally look at myself. I literally looked fat. I'm not fat, but I'm like, I look fat compared to these guys.
Good to that guy and that guy.
Yeah, like, god damn it, what happened? But that must really be like, the places I spend most of my time are Austrian Alps, Cyprus. Every now and then I'm in Helsinki. So these are not like hot spots for like go-getters, for entrepreneurs, for people with like insane body physiques. So it does something to you. It's easier to become complacent because you're like, I'm probably the best earning guy in a radius of whatever, a couple of kilometers. Probably the guy is in the most decent shape or top 1%, whatever. And then you go here and you're like, oh, I'm nothing compared to any one of these guys.
There's a lot of fitness influences here.
Yeah.
Loads of that. And fitness influences are big here. And real estate is massive here.
Yeah.
And they're all Scandinavian real estate firms.
No shit.
Because like all the Scandinavians that come here, they've all got like a holiday home here.
How come?
They just want to get away from the cold.
Oh,
they come here for the weather. Yeah. You get loads of British expats here, and you get loads of Scandinavians. It's called Costa del Sol. Like,
all right.
Costa del Sol's the actual name, but they nickname it Costa del Golf. Sorry.
Oh, they're golf?
Because there's tons of golf courses.
Oh, all right.
So basically, everyone comes away like boomers or retirees or people with money. And if you've been through the port, you'll see some of the yachts that you got down there. Mega yachts down there.
Like that.
Are you already filming this?
Yeah, we're doing all of
this. I love that.
Yeah,
excellent.
That's right? You sit down and roll. And I love it when people like half an hour in, they're like, when are we starting?
Yeah. I was going to keep going.
That's always the best. And that's how you get the most natural. I hate sitting down and it's like, welcome to the podcast.
Yeah.
How are you? Oh, yeah, so I'm great. Nah, just smooth that in. Smooth it in.
You mentioned like Austrian Alps. Whereabouts?
Literally in the center of the Austrian Alps. Like literally the center of Austria. Okay. It's a small town, 5,000 people. It's called Bad Aussee. Funny enough, if you pronounce it in English, it's called Bad Aussie.
Nice.
Which is basically you. A Bad Aussie. It's literally spelled like that. And 5,000 people cow town. It's Cologne, an hour away from Salzburg, I guess.
Okay, because me and Luke Barnett, we did like a car rally. We ended up in like Salzburg.
Oh,
and like Uber Salzburg. I went
around the Alps, like
I went up to see the Eagle's Nest and all that stuff. Right. It was bad. Like the view was bad.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
What cars did you take there?
He had a Ferrari Portofino.
Ooh.
I had my F8 Spider, and our buddies had a Lamborghini Huracan.
The F8 is a rear engine, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, rear wheel drive. Good. Yeah. But you gotta be careful with these winding mountain roads, not to lose the
Around here, great.
yeah.
I know every mountain road within like 10 minutes of this place.
Oh shit!
It's awesome.
Because the Huracan, I drove the Huracan, I drove the Spider, I drove the Aventador, and the Lambo's just a 4-wheel drive. He can barely do anything wrong. Like you just floor it. It's all automated.
I've got a buddy who lives in Dubai. He was like 18, 19 at the time. He made a big chunk of money, and he like bought himself a Huracan in Dubai. Within like a week, he crashed it.
Oh no!
Like,
how did he crash it?
He just like
just lost.
Wasn't
did he
paying
turn
attention.
off traction control or what?
Paying attention, bro. He just tried to show off, push it, ended up running into someone. I'm like, oh my god! And it's easy. It's like the beginner's supercar. It's like it's designed to
not crash.
Yeah, not crash. I'm
Exactly.
Like, whoops.
The thing is like one thing that really ruined supercars for me is to actually go race car driving.
Yeah.
Because you're like, okay, we drove Nürburgring the other day, and we didn't even have a crazy car. We had the Golf GT, Volkswagen Golf GT, but of course it was tuned like crazy, and like you got the roll cage and everything, and because here you literally push the car for like a whatever 8, 9, 10 minute lap. You push really hard every single corner. You at the limit. You have you share the track with a bunch of Porsche GT-RSs, so you kind of have to have a look in the rear mirror sometimes. Actually, my buddy, he has a racing license. We overtook Porsches with the Golf GT. It was so funny. Like the faces of the people in the Porsches. Here comes the Golf GT, and like when you can do 2 laps at max in a row because your focus is gone, you're out of breath.
It drains you, bro.
Yeah, it literally drains you. And then you're like, okay, if I had a Porsche, a Ferrari, or a Lambo now in a city, you can floor it from one red light to the other, 5 seconds, and that's it.
So what's the way you got to live? I think this was. So I moved here before I got my car,
Yeah.
and I only then realized that this is the best place in the world to live if you like driving like supercars, because all the mountain roads here. They're like a racetrack.
Yeah.
There's hairpins. It just goes up and down forever. And there's not that many people on them. And they're super well maintained. The Spanish government takes care of the roads here. Like that, you can say what else you like about the Spanish government, but they do a great job with the roads. And, man, like, you couldn't find a better place.
How's the police when you speed?
I've yet to get a ticket. So, knock on wood.
Do you have radars and shit like that?
There's not that many. There's like one on like the couple of roads I take. There's like one, and there's only one in this whole. Like on the way to Marbella, there's one just before you get to like Lenya.
Yeah,
that's it.
No shit.
The whole area.
No shit.
The cops. To be honest, I see more police here at the roundabout in the port than anywhere else. Because like usually you'll get, English dudes coming out here with their flash cars showing off, and the cops love to give them a fine. But I've got Spanish plates. So they don't bother me.
There we go.
They think I'm a local.
Yeah.
When I drive around.
Yeah.
And all the Spaniards think I'm a local when I drive around. So they're like they cheer and they're like, yay, like they're waving and stuff. And I'm like, cool.
Sick.
It just puts a smile on people's faces. I love it.
That's the cool thing. Like when you drive a supercar, like people take photos of it. I remember when we rented the Lambo, I took it to the gym. I was like, still need to work out. And out of the gym, there was like 5 people in front of the car taking photos. Nice. And I like put my shitty, sweaty gym bag on the passenger seat. Like, is that yours? I'm like, no, I rented it for a couple days. It was still like $35,000 that it cost to rent. I rented 2. I rented the Huracan and the Aventador at the same time because I wanted to compare them. But yeah, it was fun. What's your favorite car that you own? And do you want to buy?
That's the only one I own is a Ferrari F8 Spider.
Oh, that's it.
It's the only one I own, and I
don't have. You bought that?
I wanted to get a supercar since I moved out here, and I was shopping around. Originally, I was going to go for the Porsche 911, but I drove past the Ferrari store a couple of times. I decided to pop my head in there and have a look, and I'd seen a couple driving around here in the port. With the top down, and it looks sexy as hell. I'm like, that's got to be the one. That's got to be it.
You didn't need purchase history or something? Like, was it a new one or a used one?
It's a 2022, and I had like 5,000 kilometers on it. So I bought
That's actually quite a lot for a supercar, 5,000.
Well, I put 15,000 kilometers on it in 3 months. Because I've driven it.
What, in 3 months?
3 months.
Are you insane?
I've driven it to Italy and back twice.
Damn.
Yeah.
How much do you have to gas it up to Italy? Twice?
Like how many times do I refill it?
Yeah.
I mean, every day is like $100 of fuel. But that's what I bought it for. I didn't buy it to sit in a garage.
Duh. Yeah.
and I've scratched it. I scratched it within the first week of owning it, and now I'm actually glad I did it because I was freaking out, like owning it, like I don't want to scratch it, being so timid with it, and then it was just a little one on the bottom, like coming up a bit too steep of a driveway, or whatever, and I'm like, you know what? I'm glad that happened. It's my car, not renting it.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Who am I going to get? No one's going to get mad at me for it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, whatever, cool. Now I'm less stressed with it, and since driving it to Italy and back, and I drove it through Rome, drove it through Monte Carlo, all these really tiny streets and stuff. I'm so confident with the car now because I've put it, and I've driven it up the mountain passes in Switzerland with Luke and the boys, and having done that and took it on a track with an F1 instructor, so I've learned how to push it. I'm comfortable in any scenario with it. So I wouldn't want to own multiple cars, because I wouldn't get to the point where I'm this comfortable with all of them.
Yeah.
Now I'm super comfortable with this car. It's like a glove. I know I know it inside and out. I know exactly how wide it is, exactly how to park it. I know where I can fit, where I can't fit. I know what how steep a road is. I'm like, I can make that. And everyone else thinks no, you can't. I know I can because I scraped it before. It's good. It's good to have practice like that. But
So you said you took it to a racetrack?
yeah, there's a couple of racetracks around here.
Oh no way!
Yeah.
Gotta move here. Fuck. Because I was like, yeah, but it doesn't have a racetrack close by. Well, it does. Okay.
There's two. There's one. There's Guanix, was about 2 hours away. It's near what's it called? The town is named after a pomegranate.
It doesn't matter. It's just in town. Okay.
Yeah.
So there's two racing tracks.
Two racing tracks within it. I
went there.
I got an F1. He was a former F1 driver.
Sick.
Spanish guy, and
what's his name? We watch Formula One. We probably know him.
he's retired long time.
Yeah, but when? I know many drivers all the way to the 80s.
I'll give you his Instagram if you like.
Yeah,
Dude. Well, so I did the first session with him on the track, and then because I got his Instagram and we were just talking and stuff, he wanted some advice with his girlfriend at the time.
Oh, no way!
That's funny, man. And then I hit him up like, "Yo, can I borrow you for a day?
Yeah,
and we'll just go up and down my favorite mountain road." And he's like, "Sure." Hopped in the car, got instruction all the way up to 2 hours of just driving, and he showed me new roads and stuff. I'm like, "This is sick."
Man, that could be a business model, Just say, hey, I'm a driving instructor. I'll show you the sick roads. I'll tell you how to drive.
Yeah. Well, he also has a garage that he's kind of partnered with that rent cars.
Oh, nice.
So he's got it's a great setup because he's got all these clients. The garage has all the clients, and they send them to him, and he trains them and sends them back again.
Yeah.
Vice versa. It's a cool business.
We met Mika Salo's son in Tokyo. It's completely random at an underground car tuning meeting, these underground Tokyo drift scene and shit like that. Literally like Tokyo drift, like Fast and Furious. And we were in Tokyo for a month, and we were like, oh, it would be so cool if we could find some Tokyo drift style underground thing. And then he pretty much walked down the street trying to find a meeting spot, and he only had the meeting spot location on his Google Maps, and then it turns out that you can't go there by foot because it's a parking lot on the highway. It's like a highway resting parking lot thing. So he's all bummed out, and then he looks into a garage next to the street, and in that garage, some guy with a tuned car, and the guy comes out, right, and you wave him down. He waves him down, shows him Google Translator, can you bring me to this thing? And then the guy's like, yeah, hop in. This is a drift car. And I'm at home in our Airbnb in Tokyo working, and he's like, bro, I'm in a drift car right now. I'm like, what happened? How did it go?
It's awesome.
And then we infiltrated the scene. We go to all these they're like, oh, Friday we have a secret meeting, and this take the cars. So we rent a white McLaren. I couldn't drive. I'm not allowed as a gaijin, as a foreigner. But I had a Japanese client. I still have him, and I'm like, yo, I'll give you the car, you drive me around. He's like, hell yeah. So it was me, my client, and then pretty much took a cab to the you had your buddies take you there. Yeah, I was hopping on each parking lot in different car. Yeah, different place. Yeah,
nice.
And we're just racing these guys, everybody, because they're all using Japanese cars. And then we had the only supercar there with the McLaren, and they all had, Mitsubishi's tuned, Mitsubishi's and Hondas and stuff, super epic. And we race each other and stuff from highway to highway. And then there's this second meeting. You just go from meeting to meeting on this bridge. It was a 10-kilometer long bridge. In the middle of this bridge is this huge parking lot with like stores and everything, and you can get Japanese gas station snacks and whatnot. What is it called? That's what it's called? Omi Hutaru? There you go. Shout out. And there's like a white guy there, right? We're the only white guys. And I was like, hey, man, well, your English is really good. Where are you from? He's like, oh, I'm half Finnish. And I'm like, no way, half Finnish. And he's half Finnish, half Japanese. And I'm like, that's an interesting mix, man. What do you do here? Like, why are you here? And he's like, oh, I'm a driver. And I'm like, okay, an Uber driver, right? Young guy in his 20s. He probably Uber drives on the side or whatnot. And I'm like, okay, cool. You're a driver. Okay. What kind of cars? He's like, well, mainly GT4, Group 4. And I'm like, wait, what? And he says, yeah, I'm a racing driver. I'm like, no way, racing driver. Holy shit, that's so cool. And we talk a bit more, and I'm like, by the way, and we got it all on camera because we were vlogging. I'm like, by the way, who's your favorite driver, man? Like, you got to have a race driver that you look up to. And he's like, oh, my dad. And I'm like, who's your dad? He's like, well, his name is Mika. And I'm like, thinking, right, what a Finnish guy. And Mika is your dad Mika Salo? He's like, yeah. That's me and him. And then showed me the Instagram. Absolutely insane. So that's pretty sick. So
that's an expensive sport to get into.
Yeah, it is.
There's like my boxing instructor here. He instructs this Russian kid, and his dad has been getting him into Formula One.
Is it Nikita Mazepin?
I don't know.
Okay,
I don't know the guy's name, but I think his dad used to do some kind of shady stuff.
That sounds like Nikita Mazepin.
Okay. Oh, maybe it is. Well, I saw him the other day at the gym. But he was. There's two interesting things that my driving instructor told me, and the other one my boxing instructor told me. So my driving instructor told me that all the Formula One guys, they train their bodies using go-karts because the G-forces on go-karts are way more than what you get in an F1 car.
No shit.
When you push a go-kart to its limit, you're getting more G-force than an F1.
Really?
They train their necks in the go-karts. And then my boxing instructor told me, look at this like 12-year-old, 13-year-old kid over here. He trains F1. He has this. He was saying when I first held the pads for him, it felt like an adult, a full-grown adult punching me, because his arms are so strong from holding the steering wheel.
Damn, man.
Yeah. So if you want your kid to be a good boxer from day one, make him do go-karting. Because you'll get a thick neck, right? He'll be hard to knock out, and he'll punch really hard because his arms will be like super strong.
Man, we've had Suelio Almeida on. We had him on 2 days ago over Zoom, and he's a sim racer. He just started playing video games, and then he went from regular racing games to sim video games, and he bought like a wheel for $100, and pedals. And just got more and more into it. And then he started coaching people in that. Started making money from coaching people sim racing online. And then with that money, he just bought a racing car. And now transitioned into real life racing and wins. He's fucking winning. He's leading the championship right now. Yeah.
That's but he started with like something like Gran Turismo.
Literally with Gran Turismo.
That's amazing.
Insane. And he's like, yeah, like, and because the thing is now technology with these sims is so far that it actually is applicable to fucking real life. I mean, Max Verstappen, the leading world champion in Formula One right now, he just sim races all the time.
Yeah.
And they asked him, when he won his third championship, they're like, what are you going to do today? 3 times world championship, Formula One, right? The highest class. He's like, I'm just going to sim race. Like, go home and play some sim racing. That guy's just addicted to sim racing, and it's probably one of the reasons why he's so fucking good.
Right.
So, yeah, man, dude, it's insane. So you drove your Ferrari around the racetracks. How does it feel, man?
You learn to trust it. Like, the most impressive thing on those cars is not the engine, it's the brakes. Like, that thing can stop on a dime. You could be doing like 200 kilometers an hour and it'll stop really.
Fuck, man.
It's that, and like, without you having like, I don't think most people could learn to be pushing the car as safely as you could push it.
Yeah.
If you didn't have an instructor there. If you're just some kid, you maybe hit a crypto pump and now you're buying a fast car for the first time. You've got no experience whatsoever. Like, I'm an old guy, so I've at least got time on the road.
Yeah.
But you could very easily hurt yourself or worse hurt other people if you didn't learn how to control it properly. But the brakes are mad impressive. Nice. And how the engineering on the thing and how much it just sticks around corners. Like, it just glued to the ground when you get some speed on it. It's amazing.
Does it have a rear wing, yours?
Yeah.
So it's almost like
it's got diffuser on the bottom.
So it's actually the faster you go, the more downforce.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. If you want to actually get more grip, you accelerate. It's the fun part.
Wait, so all the videos that you have on your Instagram where you're driving around, that's in a Ferrari?
That's me. Yeah,
Man,
that's mine. Yeah.
damn. It's almost like you're downplaying it because it's not obvious that you're sitting in a Ferrari. It could be, it's like, yeah, it's, you know, it could be like whatever, a Ford or like a Ford GT more like, or a Mustang, you know, which is like a tenth of the price nowadays. Have you ever driven Mustangs?
I've never driven a Mustang.
They're shitty to drive.
Really?
Yeah, it's a typical. There's almost no good American race cars.
They're good in a straight line.
Exactly. They're loud. Yeah. They got acceleration and that's it.
I've got a couple of friends who have them. I got one guy who's got one here, and I got one guy in Czech Republic who's got one.
Yeah.
They like them because they're rare in Europe.
Yeah.
The American muscle car gets attention here in Europe.
True.
Because it's so rare.
Yeah, in the States, it's like, meh, whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they're all about the Europe.
And they're loud.
Yeah.
They're way more louder than like a Dacia that you're going to see driving around most of the time.
Yeah, exactly. And in Japan, it's like they're all about Japanese cars. It's such a tuning scene. They love that shit.
Huh.
There's this concept called otaku, which basically means like you're obsessed with something.
Okay.
And they just become obsessed with cars.
Yeah.
And the guys that we met there, they're all like fucking 20-year-olds. And they're like, yeah, I just worked for 2 years and then I bought this Mitsubishi for $15K and I just put a lot of work in.
Yeah.
It's very, very, very insane. What else you do for fun here in Marbella?
Hike. There's loads of great hiking around here.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Some great, like you can go hiking like literally just up rivers and find waterfalls and things like that. Even though this place is pretty dry, it doesn't really rain very much. Because of all the mountains, there's some great waterfalls and rivers and things you can hike up.
And you can go skiing, I heard.
If you go closer to Granada, the Sierra Nevada mountains,
Nice.
they're like November, December. It's like a ski season thing.
Man, hell yeah. The only thing that bothers me a little bit are the girls here. It's not. You would think with so much money and so many awesome dudes here, that would be more attractive girls. But I have a feeling most of the guys that live here, they just bring their wives. Bring your wives.
Yeah, I mean it's a bit like bringing sand to the beach sometimes.
It's like bringing what?
Sand to the beach. You got to be the right time of year, like June, July, August. And like first half of September, it's packed.
Really?
It's absolutely packed.
So we literally just got.
You've literally just missed like kind of the peak of it. I actually like living here the rest of the year. I leave during that time to get some peace and quiet. I'll travel, do podcasts or whatever. Because the rest of the year, it's a sunny beach town, great driving roads, great hiking, great restaurants, and there's not many people here. So I get it all to myself.
That's good.
You know?
Yeah.
So I kind of get all the good bits without any of the crowding.
Yeah.
And having to book restaurants in advance and all that stuff.
Like we tried right now.
Yeah. I swear. I reckon like the one I told you, we could just walk it.
I'm down to just walk in.
I'm guaranteed.
Just rolling.
And worst case scenario, there's another Argentinian steakhouse next to it anyway.
Love it.
But those 3.5 months is like kind of like English summer holidays and Scandinavian summer holidays, and they all come here to party. You get loads of like hens parties, bucks parties coming here partying.
What parties?
What do you guys call them? Like
Hens?
bachelor night,
bachelorette.
Okay, bachelorette party, bachelor party, those things.
Got it.
Loads of those out here. Birthday parties, like everything.
Oh, that kind of sucks. I hate that party bullshit, man. Just give me. But it's interesting because it's a little bit of a secret spot, Marbella. Still, compared to Dubai, Miami, and all that. Like Marbella, people are like, where's Marbella? What country is that in?
Yeah.
But I think it's getting more and more.
It's all you have to deliberately come here. You can't, like there's no airport in Marbella.
Yeah,
it's like a 45-minute taxi ride.
Yeah,
to the nearest airport.
You know.
But it's not like Dubai. You're Miami. You fly into the city.
True.
So it kind of keeps the riffraff out of it. I think. And you've got the money that's here is interesting. There is to be fair, there's a fair bit of like drug money here too.
No shit.
Like, but the guys at like the top of the food chain. So there's not really there's not petty crime and theft and violence going on. I mean, occasionally there has been like a dude getting shot occasionally.
Really?
But it's just
how frequent?
I mean, like once a year.
No shit. Okay, that's chill.
But it's just it's not like Chicago. The streets of Chicago kind of gang violence. You know what I'm saying? But I like that because people don't fuck around.
Yeah.
Like you don't know who you're going to be. You're not going to start shit on somebody who could be like a drug kingpin.
True.
So people kind of are respectful. They have a good time. They don't really break shit. They don't really like cause too much trouble. I don't really think I've ever seen a fight breaking out. And this port area here is like on a weekend in the peak season, it's just packed full of drunk English people who are pretty rowdy, right? Yeah. But I've never seen a fight break out.
Oh, no shit.
So people kind of,
Interesting, man. Yeah, I heard the cops here don't fuck around with violence. They just beat you up when there's a fight.
Yeah. And they've got Belgian Malinois, so
oh really?
They're pretty aggressive dogs too. They'll fuck you up. You'll see, like I guarantee we'll see one walking through the port tonight.
Oh, let's go.
Yeah, they're everywhere.
I'm gonna get some carbs tonight. I saved almost all my carbs for today. Adolfo here is great influence. He's like full on sticking to the macros and everything.
Right.
Yeah, we got a food delivery guy here who makes all our food. Well, he does because you got like 4,000 calorie maintenance, man. Fuck.
Damn.
He eats all the time. He's like 6 meals per day.
Shit. What do you do to burn all that off?
I'm thinking too. I'm like, God damn it. Just walk. I'm so jealous, man. What's your metabolism like? Mine is so fucked up. 2,000 calories is for me maintenance to a slight cut.
Yeah, I think I'm about 3,000, 3,500.
I'm jealous, man.
Like, I'm like 200 pounds.
I don't care. I'm still jealous, man. I like 3,000 would be for me dirty bulk.
Right.
Yeah. For me, bulk is 2,400.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It
sucks.
That's not much.
It sucks, man.
I do a fair bit. What I like about living here too is I do a lot of walking. Like
walking.
10,000 steps is easy.
Yeah.
It's like without even trying, I'll do 10,000 steps.
That's dope.
Walk to and from the gym, walk to like get my hair cut, walk to the bank, walk to groceries, whatever I need to do.
How are you getting your hair cut? It's not just buzzed?
Yeah, I pay someone to do it.
Oh, no shit. Okay.
I don't do it myself.
How much does a buzz cost when you're bald?
Oh, like $35.
Really?
The barbers aren't cheap around here. Nothing's really cheap around here. But I get him to do that. Do my beard line and stuff at the same time.
Yeah.
And the one I go to, he does like a head massage. At the same
hell
time.
yeah!
I'm just like, it's one of those like Moroccans are really good barbers.
They are Moroccans
really
and Turks.
Good.
Yeah,
Moroccans and Turks are great barbers.
Yeah, I love them too. It's the best guys.
So like, you find a good one, like tip him well, and you just keep going back to him for great service.
Yeah, I miss our Ukrainian barber dudes, man. What was it? Bobby Gunn? Tommy Gunn? Tommy Gunn, shout out to those folks. But I did meet some Ukrainian people here. For me, it's like when I see a girl I really like, I just walk up like, "Are you Ukrainian?" And it's 99% yes.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
There's a lot of them here.
A lot of them. Especially since the war, they just move to get free visas and everywhere.
Yeah, and it's all the women moved.
Yep.
Dudes didn't really get to do that.
Yeah, not really.
Unfortunately,
we had when the just before the war started, when the tensions were starting to rise. What was it? 2022, I think. So in the December fall before that already, I told all my employees, because we had 2 offices in Kiev. I told all of them, hey, listen, if you're getting scared, if it's becoming too serious for you, get out. No worries. We work online. You have 0 obligations to stay at our physical offices. And some left, but a lot were like, I'm not leaving. I'm fucking staying, ride or die. Wow. And one guy actually, Daniel, he's like, bro, I'm gonna be drafted. Unless I go to Argentina. And I'm like, yeah, I'll support that, man. Wow. Just, get out.
Why Argentina?
I can't remember. South America, like far enough away.
Other side of the planet. He's like, Romania is not quite far enough. I'm going to go to Argentina.
Right away. When did he go there? It's months beforehand already.
Yeah, like 1 month and a half.
Yeah, 1 month and a half only. Okay, well, that's actually pretty close. And then one of our guys, Nico, it must have been the last flight out before, I think the Russians crossed the border at 4 a.m. and he flew out at like 2:30 or something.
So lucky.
Yeah, insane. Because his girlfriend was Ukrainian, and because he was like, I'm staying, whatever, I don't care. As an Austrian, you kind of miss the relation to that, because we, apart from World War II, which we started and lost, we haven't really been in any war. We're neutral and stuff. So for us, it's like, war, what the fuck? So far away, out of your mind. So he's like, I don't care. But she was freaking out. She's like, we got to get out. I booked the flights. He's like, yeah, whatever. Flies to Rome, wakes up, Russians are here.
There's a war on.
Yeah, insane.
Man, that's nuts.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird. Like, we've been so sheltered in
Australian.
Same.
Right,
You
like-
guys had a war against emus, didn't you?
Which we lost.
You did? Wait, really?
It's the most embarrassing Wikipedia article you could possibly find. You can search on Wikipedia, bro. The Great Emu War.
It's called the Great Emu War.
we lost it.
How the fuck did you lose?
I don't know. Like, find
Just
the
nuke them, man. Throw some nukes on these.
find the
goddamn
story.
emus.
It's hilarious because like the emus like outsmarted the sergeant or whatever. Like, and they ran out of ammunition, so they couldn't kill them all. So the emus won.
Send me that.
That's so
I wanna-
dumb.
Send it on WhatsApp. I want to pull that up. I thought that was a joke. That
No,
the
no,
emus
it's a real
won.
thing. It's a real thing.
the fuck?
It was in my state, like where I'm from. It's even more embarrassing.
I'm imagining a war against emus. You just helicopter above the herds and you just mow them down.
That's before helicopter.
Oh, really? Oh, well, that makes sense. So it was fought with like bayonets where you had to manually.
I don't know.
Like
I don't think they bayoneted any of them. They run pretty fast, so you're not going to catch one.
Let's see, emu, the Great Emu War. 1932. They had helicopters.
Did they?
No, that was no. They didn't have helicopters, but they had machine guns.
They might have had a Gatling gun.
The farmers' difficulties were worsened by the arrival of approximately 20,000 emus. I'm imagining it like ecstasy of gold, you know. The farmers, and then there's like a ridge, like a hill, like a mountain ridge, and the emus are like looking down, like they're coming. All right, large numbers of discharged veterans who served in the war were given land by the Australian government. All right, so far so good. Onset of Great Depression, yada yada, failing to deliver the wheat crops. Okay, because of the recommendation of the process, wheat prices, blah blah blah. Why did it happen? Okay, here's what I'll do. ChatGPT that. We don't have time to read through the whole thing, all right?
Yeah, that's the best picture.
Summarize the Emu War in 3 sentences and why it was lost. Let's see. ChatGPT, man, it's such a thing. That's great. The Emu War is 1932 Australian military operation aimed at controlling the emu population. Okay, so they wanted to control because they invaded farmland. Okay. Damaging crops and shit. Soldiers armed with machine guns were deployed, but the emus, fast and agile, consistently evaded the attacks. The war was ultimately lost because the emus outmaneuvered the military forces. What a success story, man! Everybody loves a comeback. So then they just gave up? Now that you're infested with emus?
They just gave up. They just said, all right, we quit. We're out.
Shout out to the emus, man.
Yeah.
That's, that if that's the new dominant species on Earth will be emus. They'll take us over. After nuclear war, it will be emus and cockroaches. That will survive. All right, so what were you going to say? So, same for you, Australians. No, apart from the Emu War.
Yeah, we haven't really lived through like I mean, obviously people went to like Iraq and Afghanistan, things like that. But there's never been like someone encroaching on our like land.
I mean,
and,
who goes there? Everything kills you.
You know what? I have this argument with my fiancée because she's American and she's like, oh, Australia. Like I've taken her to Australia. I think nothing was dangerous. She's like, everything's trying to kill you. First of all, like, you have to go looking for snakes and spiders. They don't just wander into your living room, right, and bite you when you're sleeping. That doesn't
Not
happen.
even spiders?
I mean,
Spiders
maybe
don't come-
maybe the spiders.
All right, that's enough.
But,
That's
but
enough
the
for-
snakes don't, right? And besides, there's no like apex predator in the whole country. There's nothing. Like, the biggest thing there is a kangaroo. There's nothing that's hunting you. Now, America, you have mountain lions, you have bears.
Yep, snakes.
You've also got snakes.
Or humans.
So
Deadly.
you've got you've got all the dangerous things that we have, which are snakes.
Yeah.
Right. But then you've also got mammals that hunt you. Like you've got coyotes, you've got wolves,
Yeah.
you got jaguars, you got bears. America's way more dangerous.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
I mean, you got gun violence. Way more
And
than
you got gun
Australia.
It's way more dangerous. I don't know what people are talking about.
Man, did you see this video of the mountain lion? That it's literally like a housewife is filming out the window, and it's like ground floor, like into the garden, and there's like a mountain lion with their dead house cat in its mouth, and the mountain lion has it in its mouth. It's all bloody. The house cat clearly dead, and the mountain lion's just trying to get in. He's like scratching, and they're like, the mountain lion, and the little kid is like, what happened to our cat?
Oh my
Why is it holding our cat? And then there's a cut, and it's night, right? It's completely dark outside. The mountain lion's still there in front of the fucking window, like, let me in. With the dead cat behind. That's some real stuff.
That's like out of a horror. You could run a horror movie about it.
Yeah, like imagine your child is get traumatized for. Also, you can't get the child out. Yes, because the mountain lion might not be big. It's probably big enough to fuck you up as an adult too.
Yeah,
but then your child just get whacked.
That's why Americans need guns.
Yeah,
because that thing's just wandering into your backyard.
Yeah,
you want a gun?
That's the reason, man.
You know, I heard this theory once, right? You know how like whenever you've seen like a monster painted or described or drawn or like created, right, in fiction, it's always like a pair of eyes like glowing in the dark. And they always have, like even through mythology, they always have a similarity to cats.
Damn.
They always look like a cat. Because
that's what used to snag us.
That's what used to hunt us.
Yeah.
So like, there's something in us that is like uniquely terrified.
That's probably
of like a big cat,
and that's probably why we're afraid of the dark, because these things see in the dark. And because it makes otherwise no sense. Why would a human be afraid of the dark? Nothing's there. But then our instincts are like, there's cats lurking.
The cats are in the trees.
Yeah,
ready to jump on your back.
Fuck, man.
I when I was in my 20s, I went on like a survival tour for like a week in the Amazon jungle.
No shit.
With like an instructor. And we were like, hunting capybaras, eating them.
No way.
Yeah, fishing for piranhas, eating those. I actually had my foot nibbled on by piranhas while I was swimming. It wasn't frenzying, luckily. Like, piranhas only frenzy when they're like really shallow water.
Oh, yeah.
But it was just like sort of mid-season, so there was plenty of water and stuff. I just had like skin tags or something, and it was like nibble. I was just sitting like, they're like, oh, it's cool to swim in the water. So I jumped in, and then I'm like just chilling on the dock talking to someone. I'm like feeling this thing on my toe. I'm like, no, man. Is there anything in this water that would be biting me? Like, oh, it's probably a piranha. I'm like, the fuck are you talking about? Just jumped straight out. But he was telling me about this buddy of his who had like a face-off with a jaguar.
Oh.
And he had like, it was like, it got to this point, like, so probably from like here to your doorway, there was a jaguar on the path or whatever. This is at nighttime in the jungle, and the jaguar's like there, and it's like staring him down, and he's like staring the fucker down.
Oh, shit.
And he's basically like, he got out of it alive somehow, but he basically just couldn't take his eyes off the fucker.
Yeah, he can't.
For like an hour or something. And he only had like a knife on him.
And the cat, you could tell it's thinking.
It knows exactly. It's calculating like, is this worth it? Like, will I get away with killing this?
Yeah.
And you want an even scarier story that my guy told me. He had this friend of his who, there's a snake in the jungle, which if it bites you, it's like got a necrotic venom.
Oh, no.
So like say it bit me on the finger, right? That would start to slowly die. Like if all the skin dies and becomes necrotic, right? And when the venom eventually gets to your heart, you're done, right?
So you got to chop your limb off.
So he got bit on the finger.
No.
His friend whipped out his machete, cut his finger off. And he lived. He lived. But they took the finger back to the house to show everybody for some reason.
Just put it in a glass of alcohol.
I don't know why.
Just keep it.
But here's where it gets really fucked up. They brought the finger back, just put it on like the windowsill or something. A bee was fucking around with it.
Yeah.
And then stung his friend, and his friend died.
No
because the
way.
venom got into his fucking heart, killed him.
Fuck.
And that's how deadly the venom was. I was like, this is insane. And I was about to go camping in the woods with this guy. I'm like, why are you telling me this now?
Wow, man, it's
don't want to be here.
My friend Ash Dykes, he was on a podcast. He's right now in the Amazon. They're doing a world record attempt of like they're going down some river and then up the mountains and stuff. And they have like a satellite internet. So every now and then he uploads a reel like, we're still alive. Yesterday, army ants were in what is it called? Like invading our camp and shit, and everybody got bit and insane. I'm like, how the fuck did you do that, man? Why do you go there? I would never do that, man.
I remember when I was a kid, I used to read about the Amazon in like these adventure books and stuff, and I was like, I want to go there. And that was kind of it.
From where did you start? You flew into Brazil or something?
I spent like 3 months in Brazil, so I did like Carnival in Rio and like hung out in like Minas Gerais, Montes Claros for like a while with some friends.
Sick.
Then I eventually went up to like Salvador, and then I started at I went to like what's it called? Manaus, I think it's called. It's like kind of like in the middle of the river.
Yeah.
And it's right where you can see there's this phenomenon on the Amazon River where you have like the fresh river, like the seawater coming in from one end, and the muddy river coming down.
Divides in the middle. I've seen that.
Yeah. You can literally we took a boat across it, and you can literally put your hand and like swish it between the two.
Oh,
they don't really want to mix.
Sick.
Yeah. So that's where we started. I was there for like a week in the jungle with my instructor, and then I kept on going. I took a boat the rest of the way down the river to Peru.
Damn.
Yeah.
How far?
That's the most boring thing you'll ever don't do that. It's not exciting. It's super boring. That's actually why I shaved my head. That was the first time I ever shaved my head. Yeah. I was that bored. I was like, I want something to do. I had hair like you, and I was like, all right, well, there's nothing to do. And a dude had a pair of clippers, so I was like, shave my head.
Damn.
That was entertainment for the night.
What year was that?
This was like 2010.
Okay, so smartphones, everything.
Yeah,
Was your dad?
I didn't have a smartphone at the time, so no Google Maps or anything like that.
Oh shit!
Just did it all.
How many days were you on that?
I was traveling for like a year.
Okay.
Yeah, so I started in Argentina, then went to Brazil for 3 months, then went to Peru, ended up in Peru, did some volunteer work in Peru with like an orphanage and shit.
Damn.
Like a charity, and then ended up in the USA for the first time, visited Canada, and then bounced back.
Man.
I did that whole thing. Like backpacking and like couch surfing.
Yeah.
Do you remember that website?
Back in the days, back in the days, yeah.
I was like a super high ranked like guest couch surfer. I crushed the couch surf. I just couch surfed the whole way. I think my total budget for like 6 months was only like $8,000.
Damn.
I like stretched the hell out of my budget. I like ate once a day, like a giant burrito or something, and then that was it. Spent the rest of the time like just. Yeah,
damn,
partying and stuff.
How does that fit into your timeline? When was that? Was that after your adult film career? Before?
That was long before it.
Long before it. Okay. What did you do before that?
So I did my like chemistry degree. Did like about a year of working as a pharmaceutical research chemist, and then I took like a gap year to do all that stuff.
Oh, and then you were.
And then I came back and I got into like oil and gas chemistry.
Interesting, oil and gas,
like quality control testing for like an oil and gas company.
Do you still have any sort of context to that? Like, do you still do it? And all you think about it? It seems so far away.
Sometimes
now.
I wake up with cold sweats thinking I'm back. You ever had that where you live in like I did sometimes with the apartment I used to live in LA? That gives me nightmares.
Oh, really?
Like I'm like it's like that's what part of what keeps me going to this day.
Wow.
Like I'll like. You were sleeping, you like twitching, like no. Like, I mean that like shitty studio apartment with like one frying pan, one plate, one knife, one fork,
cockroaches everywhere.
Right, it was so shit.
I have that with school. It's been 12, 16 years since school. I sometimes dream I'm still in school. It's usually math class, even though I was the best in math, but I had really shitty class, and it's just this like. Oh no, I don't know. I have no clue how to do any of this anymore. It's like still the topics from back then. And it's funny because in my dream, I'm still me now. So I'm like, I'm an entrepreneur. I make all this money. Why do I need to know this? I'm so fucked. And I'm like, I'm not supposed to be here. It's just so somehow I'm forced to do the exams again. I'm like, I'm so fucked. But I'm like, wait a minute, I'm a business owner. I could buy this fucking school. Why am I still here? That's my.
Is that when you wake up? When you realize
it's like before I wake up, I have this semi-lucid dreaming where before I wake up, I'm like, wait a minute, I'm asleep. I'm there. I'm like, I don't need to worry about the shit.
Yeah.
Strange.
It's funny, isn't it?
It's very strange. I don't dream about the army. No problem. I don't dream about university. I just dream about a fucking school, man.
It's weird. I think like this. Everybody I know who's really successful has some kind of like, I hate to use the word trauma because that's so overused.
Yeah,
but they have some kind of stressor.
Yeah,
right in their past that pushed them into like this trajectory.
Amen.
There's like a certain amount of stress you need.
Yeah,
right. Especially as a young guy, like
exactly.
You need like there has to be something that's really like emotionally or physically like probably I'd just say emotionally like overall, right? It's like overwhelming and stressful that sort of like pushes you.
Yeah.
To like rise to the challenge, and that becomes like your new arc, But if people have too much stress at a young age, like they end up becoming like a heroin addict.
It has to be. It has to be the balance. There's this great Stoic quote: "Hardship trains the mind, just like exercise trains the body." And like you said, like everyone that I talk to on the podcast or anyone that I meet that is successful, they all have some sort of, like you said, trauma or stressor behind them. It's very rare. You see that rarely that a guy comes from like a perfect family, has good money, and they're not. It's actually almost like a plie. It's worse to those guys because they all have this like, they're not even alive in their eyes. They all have this like, yeah, whatever.
Everything's too easy.
Everything, yeah, they're not stimulated. Yeah. They're not awake. They're just like, look, man, daddy always had money. I always had girls. Daddy always fixed anything. Like you said, I never had a stressor, never had to prove themselves.
I think that more so than like daddy having money, the fact that they I'm assuming the kind of people you're describing right now might be like raised in Hollywood Hills or something.
Yeah.
Like have be plugged into
the land strolls of...
always having had girls as well as always having had money is like a recipe for like a fuck up.
Yeah, especially when the girls are not really into you, but they're
into
like
the money or the
exactly. Like you're like the richest kid in town or in the city or whatever. Everybody knows your daddy,
right?
And they all just and you could tell that these guys know deep down inside, I don't got no real fucking friends.
Yeah,
everybody's just here because I got the money, I got the drugs.
I would not trade that. Like you
no way.
Pay me to live that life.
Yeah, no fucking way. Horrible. Fuck off. No way. Yeah. Like, if I could choose a perfect life, it's like give me a loving family, so I'm not fucking psycho.
Yeah,
like, you know what I mean? Like, give me a family that loved me, that I experienced at least some degree of unconditional love growing up, and ideally give me siblings so I can learn that there's other people, not just me. Usually single childs are a little weird. My girlfriend is a single child, and I'm like, you're not weird enough to be a single child, only child, and that's and kind of like bring me up in a village. Most people that I know are successful, they come from a fucking village and they wanted to get out.
That's where I come from.
Yeah, there you go.
Thing, yeah.
What's your village?
3,000 people.
Dang.
Farming.
How many emus? In that
Zero. No emus where I'm from.
Okay.
No, zero. We didn't have to go to war with them.
What's that?
That's how I got out. I avoided the war.
What's that town called?
I won't tell that.
Oh.
I try to keep my private.
Okay.
I keep my family.
Family's still there. Yeah. All right.
My family's still there.
Yeah. Same. Okay.
I'm kind of the black sheep to a degree, so I try not to. I don't like to bring any unwanted. There's a lot of weird people on the internet, man.
Tell me about it, man.
Super weirdos. Like,
about it,
I mean,
man.
like just through my associations with my friend group and my past career.
Yeah.
I get a lot of hate from a few very select people. The last thing I want to do is give those autistic psychopaths like more information about my family.
Yeah, it's a very smart move. Very smart.
Like cameras off, I'll happily tell you. It's just
yeah. No,
it's not a disrespect thing. It's just,
all good, man. All good. Yeah. I've had the same especially because of my first business dating advice. Right now with business advice, the people that are coming are pretty normal.
Yeah.
But the dating advice, again, here 90% of guys are just guys that want to figure out how to talk to girls. But there is a disproportionately higher percentage of weird people.
Right.
They're complete weirdos. I've had people camp in front of my house. I've had people triangulate Google Maps. They, like when I have like a story where I would film the view from my place. Yep. They're like, oh, I found the view on Google Maps, and then I rang at every doorbell in that building, 28 floors, 31 floors, rang at every doorbell until you open the door.
Holy,
had a guy like that. Yeah. And then that guy, I'm like explaining, like, hey, you can't do this. Right? You can't just fucking show up. We're not friends. Because for these people, they're like, but I feel like you're my brother. I watched all your content, right? But they cannot calculate so far as to say, well, but I don't know you. Right? Like, just because you feel you know me because you watch my content, I don't know who the fuck you are. For me, you're a stranger. Yeah. They can't even calibrate like that. And then I've had that guy then hit up people that I tagged in my stories. It would show up. It was so funny because my best friend, business partner, Kevin, I told him that I'm completely freaked out. Like, some random guy just showed up, wanted to come inside, ask me for a glass of water. I'm like, no, I'm not going to give you a fucking go home, man. And Kevin's laughing. He's like, sucks to be you. And then the next day, this guy finds where Kevin lives because I tagged Kevin. And he's like, bro, this guy just came to my fucking door, asked me questions, man. It's so good.
I haven't had that level of stalking yet.
Good. Yeah, because you're smart about it. Not like me. I'm like, fuck. That's also why when I post on stories now, it's always like 2 days behind.
I try to do that as well.
Yeah, because Actually, I've had good problems too. I've had people like, I'm like at a restaurant and I'm like, want to pay, and the guy's like, oh no, he's got it covered already. Some random guy showed up and paid you a bill. Oh, and he left you a note, and it's like, thanks for everything, Max. Big fan. I've had that too.
That's amazing.
Yeah. But yeah, now I'm always like 2 days behind, and then people are like, oh my god, let's meet. I'm in your city. I'm like, no, I'm already in the next one.
I've trained my fiance to do the same thing.
Smart. Very.
I've trained her to like, look, don't post where we are. Wait a day.
Yeah, exactly.
At least wait a day to post that location.
Yeah.
And if we're still in that town, wait another day.
Exactly.
She picked it up straight away. Because obviously, like, dudes get burned.
Yeah. You never know. You never fucking know.
Mr. Stirling Cooper, what a top G. This guy has got such great energy. He's crushing it. He's making a ton of money, and he's living the life. And that's what I'm showing on the Max Tornow podcast. I'm talking to coaches, creators, thought leaders, and they all have one thing in common. They all have their own online business, and they're crushing it with it. So if you're someone who's seeking to also become wealthy from online, or even just making 3 to 5K a month as a start, book a call with us. There's link right down in the description. Also, if you're already advanced, you're saying, Max, I'm already a coach, but you're making more money than me, Max, and your life's pretty awesome, and you're automating it, and how do I hire my first team members? How do I scale? How do I run ads? How do I get more followers? Well, we can help you with that as well. We've worked with over 3,000 people since 2019. And we've helped beginners make their first 3 to 5K a month. We have advanced clients making 100,000 each and every month. We've literally helped 20-year-olds become millionaires from scratch. So link is down in the description below for you to fill out an application and book a call that is literally one-on-one with me and my team entirely for free. This is not euphemism for hop on a sales call with us. I mean, sure, we can talk about that as well, on how exactly we can help you with our programs. But also, we're legitimately known to give a ton of value in these calls entirely for free. So if you want a roadmap on where to go and what things you need to do in order to get your desired results, there's a link down in the description below. Book that. You can open it now. Don't book it yet. Open it in a new tab and continue watching this epic episode. Let's go.
How did you meet your fiance?
Instagram.
Really?
Bro, it was kind of funny. So her younger brother was a fan of like my content and like Justin's content and Tate's content and stuff. And so he would like forward like reels, Instagram reels that he thought were funny of mine to his sister.
Okay.
And then she thought it was funny, and then she followed me. And I'm like, who's this hot blonde?
Yeah.
I followed her back and DM'd her.
Go into the always checking who follows it. Oh, that one's good. Let me
He hates it. It's great.
Yeah, it's his fault, basically.
Probably the funniest thing is like all of his friends are fans of me.
Nice.
So whenever I'm hanging out, if I go visit her hometown, like he's like bitter and salty because all of his friends are like fanboying over me. It's so fun.
Oh, that is so fucking funny, man.
That's great.
So also, like, you know, the kind of girl that doesn't mind my background or your background and is like, oh no, you're still cool. Like, that's really that already tells it she must have a really cool character.
Yeah, it's like she understands the difference between men and women.
Yeah, amen. That's all. That's all you need.
It's all she needs. It's not like the idea of like that we're all blank slate and we're all like the blank slate equalism. We're all exactly the same.
Yeah,
like she's very conservative, like politically as well. So it's sort of like
that's easy then.
And I'm that way as well. So it's like we kind of clicked straight away.
Yeah.
Conspiracy theorists, that kind of stuff. It's great. This is one of my favorite. Like the opening, like one of the first questions I asked her when we were on our first.
What was the opener DM? Let's hear that.
I think I just said American ?
Oh, that's funny, man.
That was about what I said, I think. I was honest to God, it was like probably the I put so little effort into that pickup or whatever.
And she was, is she an influencer or she just had a regular profile with pretty pictures?
She was a waitress.
Interesting.
Yeah, like super, like regular like very intelligent, but just a waitress. Like,
love it.
Yeah, it wasn't doing anything like super spectacular or whatever.
Okay.
And I liked that. I was like, excellent.
Yeah.
Good.
I mean,
quit that right now, and now you're gonna come be mine. That's it.
Love it.
She's right across the road now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We should invite her also next time.
Yeah.
To the podcast.
She's cleaning the house.
All right, so you DM'd her American. How did you... Did she... I mean, she must have given you some shit. She must have been Mr. So-and-so trying to pick me up.
A little bit, but
and then you meet her.
Yeah.
And then you clicked. How long ago was that?
It wasn't that long ago. This is like almost a year ago. Actually, a little bit less than a year. A little bit less.
Wow. So you proposed to her
pretty quick.
How many months in?
maybe 3 months.
That's amazing.
I was quick about it. Actually, I did that. Sorry, I didn't technically propose and put the ring on her finger for 3 months, but I was like, I'm going to marry you. Like probably like 2-3 months in.
And she was like, haha, funny, you're joking?
Yeah. And I was like, no, I'm serious. Quit your job. Like, so, because I'd been looking for a wife for like the last 2 years, and I had a very, very specific set of criteria of like what I wanted to find.
Yeah.
And it took a while to find it, but once what she sort of like was ticking all the boxes, like. And then, like, no woman's going to tick all the boxes for you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's going to be you're going to have to compromise somewhere, right?
Yeah.
But there's more green flags than there were red ones.
Yeah.
And the red ones were the really bad ones. So it's like, like she had a couple of cats. I'm like, bit of a red flag. But
how many? How many? That's it's
3.
Yeah, it's acceptable.
But she has a Belgian Malinois.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, female Belgian Malinois, and they're fucking hard to train.
Those are what?
They're like police dogs, like
No
the
shit.
vicious attack ones.
Fuck, man.
And she trained it as like a little blonde girl.
Oh, that's badass.
Like, and I'm like, this thing's like very well trained, like great recall, like would tear your throat out if you went anywhere near her. And now the dog loves me.
Oh, sick.
Right. So, but
Sick.
that really impressed me. I was like, damn, if you're intelligent enough and patient enough
And
to train
smart
a dog,
and
train a dog like that, that shows a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Without saying it.
yeah, 100%. Like that's like low key a turn on right now. Like not for me to hit on your fiance, but I'm like that. Like if I meet a girl like that, I'm like, damn, okay, you're just like infinitely hotter.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, it proves. And I'm like, if you can handle that, you can handle it having a kid.
Yeah.
You know, like this. People make out.
Kid doesn't kill you if you fuck it up.
Yeah,
I mean maybe.
Yeah, it's not gonna attack your friend if they walk in the house.
I've seen kids do that too. My girlfriend wouldn't do any of that. My girlfriend has zero patience. My girlfriend has probably very hardcore ADHD,
Right.
which I love. I don't know. That's also a turn on for me. I'm like, she's just like, yeah. I come home and there's like a half painted painting on the floor, all kinds of painting colors, and my girlfriend is doing something completely different. I'm like, hey, what happened here? It's like, I painted the thing, then I got distracted, and I'm baking a cake, by the way. Yeah. But then I realized I didn't have any of the ingredients, so I gave up, and and I'm like, oh, all right, cool.
It's like half a cake.
Exactly. And I love that because I'm so OCD about everything.
Right.
I'm so over controlling. Like it's almost like my life is no fun. For no reason. I'm like, why am I making it no fun, man? Fuck.
Bro, I feel that.
Yeah?
I'm very similar to that. But it's a nice finding a woman who can compliment you like that.
Yeah, exactly.
She's kind of like it's weird because she's my fiance is super intelligent, like objectively intelligent. Like easily like I think like 130 IQ or something like that.
Wow.
She's tested it, right? But being an American from like a small like town, like a kind of like a city, like a Jersey girl.
Yeah.
She knows nothing about the world. Like, I'll give you a couple of bangers she said in like the last 3 days.
How old is she?
She's 25.
Okay. So also too young to really know the world.
Right.
Yeah.
And she she hadn't left America for the first time.
Oh, wow.
Until I traveled with her.
Yeah.
Right, so I've shown her everything.
That's sick.
She, like in her entire life, she'd been between like her hometown and Disney World in Florida. Those are the 2 places she'd visit. And we were catching our flight back to here yesterday, and
Yeah, for where did you fly in? I forgot.
flew in from we flew in from Venice.
Okay.
Before Venice, we were in Munich for Oktoberfest.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, so good to see that. That was,
Did you see Schwarzenegger? He was there.
I didn't see him personally.
Okay.
But he was there. Yeah.
All right.
I don't drink anymore.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like the final boss of sobriety.
Oh,
It was like
interesting.
I'd always wanted to do Oktoberfest. I've always wanted to see it, and I kind of wanted to do it with some buddies or whatever. And the friends I have here would be the perfect guys to do it with, to be honest. To get boozy. But I stopped drinking earlier this year, and I was like, you know what? I've always wanted to do this, and I've got that. It's like this monkey on my back. I want to get it off. So I'm like, let's go to Oktoberfest. She's like, you sure you're not going to be tempted to drink? I'm like, I might be tempted, but I'm not going to do it. And I'm walking around, I'm like, this could be pretty fun if I was drinking. But then as the day went on, like, and I saw everyone getting super sloppy, and I'm like, yeah, okay, good.
Yeah.
This is why I'm not drinking.
Yeah.
And that was good. I was able to see it and enjoy it and see the festivities and stuff. And all in my head, I'm just like, if I was like on that table, I'd be like dying for a piss, and the bathroom line would be forever, and I'd be so annoying. I'm like, I'm so glad I'm not drinking. It just reinforced the fact that I'm glad I'm not drinking anymore.
That's good.
So it was cool. I was like, I conquered the final boss of like, sobriety or whatever.
Yeah.
But anyway, this is what I'm going to tell you about her. So at the airport, we're just chatting away, and she's like, something like banger. She comes out, she's like, I thought America was the only country that had a national anthem.
What?
Not joking.
That's cute, man.
That was the first one.
That's the most American thing she could have said.
I was like,
I thought we're the only one that have freedom and democracy.
I broke down in tears laughing at it.
That is so.
What else
Didn't you learn that in school?
She said like, the other one, she's like, I asked her like, we were talking about like, I'd mentioned like Canberra, which is the capital city of Australia.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm like, what's the capital city of New Jersey? And she's like, what do you mean? I'm like, what's the capital city of New Jersey? She's like, and she just says like her hometown. I'm like, that's not the capital of New Jersey.
It's my hometown, motherfucker. Thus, right.
It took like a good 2 minutes for me to like communicate what I was trying to ask.
That's cute, man.
But it's endearing. It's
Very
it's
cute, yeah, very cute,
It's
yeah.
cute. Like she is objectively intelligent.
Yeah.
But she's just like inexperienced.
Yeah, love
she doesn't know. Like she's not worldly.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm like, that is adorable because that means I get to show you all this stuff.
Yeah.
And whenever you act like an idiot, it's hilarious to me.
Yeah.
So it's like it endearing. It doesn't piss me off or annoy me.
Exactly.
It's just I just laugh my ass off. So it's great.
There's almost nothing better than taking someone that you love and showing them the world. Just be like, pack your stuff. We're gonna go to this place.
Yeah.
Let's go. Oh, I have to work. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Fuck that. Like, quit your job.
Quit.
I've been trying to get my girlfriend to quit ever since we were together.
Yeah.
And she's Scandinavian. She's like, no fucking way.
Right.
I'm like, look, you don't need to work. Like, why would you work?
does she do?
She's a nurse.
And
she's a school nurse, special. And she loves that. She's like, the kids love me. Because she's really, really, really focused on that. She's like, look, the kids need an adult that is not a teacher.
Yeah.
They need an adult that is on their side. And she loves that. And she goes to school like earlier just so the kids can see her as they enter the building. So they know that she's there. She's like super mothering for these kids.
Yeah.
And
sounds like you need to put a baby in her, man.
yeah. She's
got that instinct.
I'm down.
I'm down. Should be a mother. You know what I'm
100%. She's 30 now. I'm 34. And I'm like, the other day I was like, yeah, now I have infinite time. For a guy, you can be whatever 60 and you still make kids. I mean, didn't Mick Jagger in his 80s still?
Was it Robert De Niro?
Or Robert De Niro? Yeah, he's still firing real bullets.
They're still working.
Yeah. And then I'm like, well, and then I made a calculation. Okay, I'm 34 now. I'll be 35 next year. So by the time, if I want to have grandkids. Yeah. And my son gets my firstborn son or daughter gets their first kid at my age, I'll be 70.
Yeah.
By the time I have a fucking grandchild. And then by the time that grandchild is like 10, I'll be 80.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, fuck. And also I want to have 3 kids. So it's like by the time the third kid comes, assuming we're starting next year, I'll be like 40. I'm like, okay, fuck. So by the time my firstborn is 10, I'll be 45. And then you start calculating like that. I'm like, okay, like I want to be able to play football and go snowboarding with my kids. I'm like, fuck. Okay, I gotta get fucking going here, man.
Yeah. That was someone kind of shoved that in my face a couple of years ago. Like, you don't really have the time you think. Mm-hmm. You got to like, dudes will think I've got all the time in the world to have the baby, but you kind of got to add 18 years.
Exactly.
Because if you want to have a relationship with your kids, you need to be around for another 18 years.
Amen to that. And the thing is. What was I going to say? Like I said, like I want a lot of kids, and the thing is too is like for me, it was always like I got to be done with everything else so I can fully focus on the kids. So my girlfriend's like 3 years ago, she's already like, hey, like let's think about kids, and I'm like, nah, I need to make millions first. And then I'm like, well, I can still do that when the baby's here.
Exactly.
It's not over.
Yeah. You've got at least like 3 to 5 years before they're talking. I mean,
exactly.
I don't know how long. I don't have a clue about.
I don't know either.
I don't know how long they talk. I don't know how long they have to be before they talk. But whatever. It's more than 1 year, sure.
Yeah. It's got to be.
Surely. And before they're walking, it must be 2.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
I don't have a clue. but they're not going to school.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Until
Yeah.
they're like 5.
And then when they do go to school, now you got half a fucking day where the kid's not even there, where you can still grind and hustle and all that jazz.
Yeah, but it's kind of like, okay, cool. It just lights a fire under your ass.
Yeah,
Oh, there's a baby coming. Okay, I've got like 5 years to make the 10 mil, or whatever
Exactly.
it is, whatever it is.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
I think that's better
That
than
exactly.
having this infinity timeline of like, oh, when I achieve that, then I'll do it. Because you won't if you don't have like the deadline.
Exactly. That's what I literally told my marketing team. I'm like, guys, $1 million a month. We're close. We got to get there because I'm about to get a fucking baby.
Yeah.
And if you guys want me to shoot 50, 100 ads a day, like, give them to me now. I'm not sure what's going to, like, let's go make it happen.
Yep.
It like I said, like you said, it lights a fire under your ass. And then also, man, like you know what's the cool thing? Because we said, like, when you really love someone, you show them the world. When you have a kid, okay, so because you're starting with a completely blank canvas, okay? So your kid is sitting on the couch, and you're like, hey, by the way, I'm going to show you something that's called the Terminator movies, okay? Never heard about this before, right? It's like, so there's this fucking robot, and he travels from the future. And, like, how insane you can watch someone experience things that you love for the first time.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, by the way, get this, okay? So, do you know you were born, 6 years ago, okay? 6, okay? Now, 65 million years ago, there was giant lizards that are as big as our house, and they were running around on Earth. In fact, check them out. Now you can see their fossilized stone. Like, what a mind fuck that is to explain that to kids, Like, oh yeah, they're still around. Oh, check it out, Jurassic Park. It's a movie where you can see them in real time. Like shit like that. I just want to continuously show my kids all the cool things in the world. Or imagine this, like, okay, get a jar of some brown goo, and you're like, this is what we call Nutella. Have a spoon of it, just see how the synapses go crazy.
Change their brain.
Yeah. Like stuff like that. I imagine that'd be pretty fucking cool.
Yeah.
Or smoking weed for the first time with your kid when it's like 18 or 20 or whatever. It's like, hey, this is what we call marijuana. Have a that's just hilarious. I'm joking to a degree. There's this hilarious bit of Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle, the comedian, where he finds his son's weed. It's the funniest thing I've ever. He's like, so my son's out, and I do what every responsible parent does is I go through his shit. So I open all the drawer and I find a bag of weed, and then, of course, I smoke my son's weed. and then he finds his son's poetry, and he's like, that's some gay shit. So his son gets high and writes poetry, and he smokes his weed. It's like, that's some gay shit. It's so funny, man. Hilarious. So, when are you guys getting married? Do you have a date in mind already?
Really?
Okay.
We're thinking about doing it like while we're in like Germany, or like just eloping without him
Just
around.
fuck it. Just interesting.
I don't want to piss her father off. So, well,
Her dad's old school.
yeah, he doesn't really like me either. So
Oh, he does? How can he not like you? You're
I'm an ex-porn star.
so fuck. Oh,
banging his daughter. That's a good enough reason for me to not like someone either.
Yeah, okay. I get that.
I get it. Like I had to sit down with it. I sat down with the guy over dinner and stuff, and like when she was she'd have to wait to the bathroom for a minute. Like the whole conversation was like super intense. Like he just like you could tell he wanted to punch me like from the moment I sat down. Like he was just like kind of like visibly shaking the whole time we're eating dinner. And then she gets up, goes to the toilet, and he's like, as soon as the door shuts, he like leans in like, you know what? Like if you weren't dating my daughter, we'd get along great. But you are dating my like I can't respect that. I'm like, you know what? I get it. Cool. I'm here to prove you completely wrong.
Oh, lovely.
And
That's cool.
I'm a very stubborn person. So watch me.
Okay. What's your
That's
plan?
precisely it.
What's your plan?
Well, prove to him that that's not like it wasn't like a fling.
Okay. What's his background?
He's a judge.
He's a judge. Oh,
He's a judge.
Oh, damn. All right.
Yeah, like a lawyer, and then like this, like the district judge for where the town.
Jeez, man. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
Big G. So
Interesting, man. Okay. All right. I've met the attorney general once. Yeah, I don't know which one from what years or whatever. He was at our event, at our RSD event, because back then RSD was obsessed with being super bulletproof. with all the wokeness coming and all that jazz, and they had the shitstorm with Julian, and they were like, okay, we're gonna, and of course Owen, being the OG of social dynamics, he's like, I'm gonna befriend the attorney general, right? That's his way of dealing with this.
Yeah.
And he just fucking hangs out with the attorney general for like 2 weeks, like grabs steak dinner and shit, and then he takes the guy to Vegas Summit. And Summit in Vegas is basically like a yearly event where all of our best clients fly in. I don't know, it costs like $2,000 or something like that. But if you purchase an in-person coaching with us, you get free tickets for that. Right. So it's like our best, most loyal client base is there. Room full of whatever, 300, 400 people or so. They all flew in and stuff like that. And then the attorney general is somewhere in the back of the room, and I was not told. And I'm pitching one of my back then mentoring programs, and the way you pitch a program, especially live, is like, this is how you get the girls like this. And the attorney general would just like write notes of like, this, I wouldn't say it like this, I wouldn't claim it like that, and then they gave me a list of like, this is how you should have phrased it instead. Of course it's less salesy, but like get these notes from the attorney general. And I'm like, how come no one told me that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Thank God he's not my attorney general. He's a native Austrian, but still fucking weird. And then Owen even had the attorney general on stage. He's like, all right, folks, we got the attorney general now. He's a good friend of mine. Give it up. And he's just this like old school guy in his like 70s, right? And here's all these guys that are in Vegas that are dating life. They're all about like, let's go out, let's meet some girls, let's go home with them. And the attorney general is all like, yeah, you got to be careful because when you take a girl home, she's pretty, you might wake up without a kidney, And he's all like, it's like old school, like, what the fuck? And all these 20-year-olds are like, no, I don't want to lose my kidneys. So it was completely out of context. Everyone's like, who the fuck is this guy, So shout out to that attorney general. And then I talked to him. He's super cool dude. He's like, so interesting what you guys do and yada yada. Super, super fun. But yeah, that's RSD. That's the chaoticness of nature of that company. It's great. It's been an amazing ride. That good alignment. Okay, so you don't know yet when you guys are gonna get married. You have you almost just spontaneously married her in Germany. And what a place to marry. Germany. The most romantic nation on earth.
Germany. I don't know, Munich was beautiful.
Yeah, Munich is nice. Munich is beautiful.
Stunning.
Have you ever been to Berlin?
I have been to Berlin.
Yeah. How did you like it?
I liked it. It was probably 5 years ago I went to Berlin with my dad and stuff. Did like a Nazi tour for like,
of course,
buildings and stuff. So all that sort of stuff. That's what people do. I don't know. That's what I do. That's what I'm doing whenever I'm in a historically like World War II based city.
Yeah.
And I just kind of finished reading the book, The Rise and Fall of the Third Reich. Which is a really comprehensive book on like World War II and stuff. And I was that nerd on the tour that was quizzing like the guy giving the tour. Like, what about this thing? What about that thing? Like, it must have been a pain in the ass.
Was he good?
He was great.
He
knew his shit. He did a great job.
Nice.
Yeah,
interesting. Yeah, Germany is. Here's the funny thing about World War II. As I mentioned earlier, it's actually Adolf Hitler was Austrian.
Yeah.
Which a lot of people don't know. They blame Germany for that. And the thing with Germany is they did this whole world war. Everybody hated them. And then they had this like quote unquote collective character arc of becoming legit again. And they said sorry for what they've done. There's this famous scene where their prime minister decades later gets on his knees and begs for forgiveness. And everybody's like, okay, Germany, they made a lot of mistakes, but now everybody loves them. They're cool. They're known for their engineering. They're known for being precise and like sticking to the rules and all that. And their football is great. Everybody's like, yeah, Germany's great. And if you're in Germany and you said, I'm proud to be German, or I raised the German flag, they're like, that's Germany. It's fine. They've done it and they apologize. Austria kind of got left behind that. So with Austria, if you say, I'm proud to be Austrian, people are like, what does that mean? You're not. It's really weird shit.
Really.
And I'm sad because I'm patriotic. I love Austria. I love my country. It's so beautiful. Like I love going there. I love spending time there. But it's hard for me to talk to any of your friends of like, hey, Austria is beautiful. We love Austria. Like I'm proud to be Austrian, because we never had that arc of like those grandiose gestures of apologizing, because it was just Hitler was born in Austria, goes to Germany, creates a Nazi party, and then just invade. Like, they didn't even invade Austria. They just rolled into Linz. So Linz is like the closest border, one of the closer border cities. They just rolled in with their army, and the Austrians were like, we're fucked. Like, unless we just join them, right? Can't beat them, join them. And that's how we kind of like missed that character arc. But the crazy thing is, we're now getting into a point where the people that were alive during that time, they're almost all dead. My grandmother, she was a teenager in the Nazi era.
Really?
She's 99. She just died earlier this year. God bless her soul. And she was, for example, part of the opening ceremony of the Olympic Games in Berlin.
No way.
Yeah, I never knew. She told me like a couple of years. And she's like, yeah, I was, because she was in the Bund Deutscher Mädchen, which is the Hitler Youth for girls.
Yeah.
She was full on in there. And I remember she even said, she's like, yeah, and then I was part of the opening ceremony. She had to carry a flag or something. And she's like, I could see the Führer with my own eyes. Crazy, right? That's nice. And I, especially towards the end, because I knew she's going to die soon. She got really weak and stuff like that, but she was mentally ultra sharp still. She had a PhD. And I asked her, like, Grandma, how was it? How was it back then? And what happened when the war happened? When did you go? Where did you go? Like, what about your parents? And it's like her father, my great-grandfather, he was 9 years in a prison in Russia, in a military prison. He did full on in the gulag, you know, and like, how was it when you saw him for the first time? And she's like, I couldn't recognize him because he had a full beard. He aged more than 9 years visibly. He lost a lot of weight. And it's like my dad is not here anymore. This is a different person. And things like that, like you said, we're so sheltered. We don't have that. Like, my dad's a 60-year-old fat guy. Like, he didn't go to fucking prison in Russia.
Yeah.
He, you know, I don't know. The worst thing of my dad is, I don't know, I lost his tooth or something. You know what I mean? Like, knocked his own tooth out or some shit, you know? So we completely lost that. And I think that's fucking dangerous. That generation that has experienced war, they're like, war is fucking hell. And nowadays, people are too loose with that shit. They're too loose with, we should kill these motherfuckers. And I think there's going to be some challenges coming towards humanity through the loss of that World War generation.
You also look at, like, if you look at all of the people that were kind of in charge, let's take the Nazis as an example, right? All the dudes who were kind of in charge, well, not all of them, but a lot of them, right? Like Hermann Goering, like Hitler. These guys had actually served in World War One. They were actually war veterans, like, and so that, like, they're in a position to, like, give, like, if they're sending people off to the front, they know what they're sending them to do.
Yeah,
like, they're fully aware of the ramifications of their orders. Whereas now, and I think the same could have been said for, like, the American, you know, military attaches, the English,
Iraq and Afghanistan, right? Later on.
But now, like, if you look at, like, American politics stuff, you got all these people in Congress, like, sending young Americans off to die, fighting pointless wars, and it's like, they're not sending their own kids, and they didn't do this kind of shit. You know what I mean? Like, they're so far removed from the fight that's going on. It makes it, dehumanizes it, and now you add on top of that, you got drone warfare.
Drone shit, yeah.
Have you you've seen some of the footage that's coming out of, like, Russia, Ukraine, of, like, you know, and it's the drone's point of view, like, and you just
dropping
see
a grenade,
just dropping a grenade on a guy, and it's like, that is like dystopian. That is like the introductory scene of Terminator. Yeah, it's like that. It's just terrifying.
I mean, the Vietnam War was the first war that we saw on television. And then you had the Iraq War, Afghanistan, and so on and so forth. I think the Russia-Ukraine war is the first one we see on fucking social media.
It's all over Twitter, yeah.
Right? So it's not like you turn on the TV and you watch the news and you can switch the channel. No, you open your fucking phone. I want to see what my friends are doing. And the algorithm is just like, by the way, here's a guy getting shot in the woods in Ukraine. And you're like, well, I didn't want to see this.
Yeah.
And I'm fucked. But, you mentioned earlier you're conservative, your fiancé is conservative. How much do you follow politics, especially in the U.S.?
Pretty close. Like, my feed is just full of it.
No shit, no shit.
It's kind of hard to avoid that, though. Like, American politics is like a spectator sport.
It's almost like a reality TV show.
And the whole world pays attention to it because it impacts the entire world because of the reserve currency.
True.
And they're the biggest, strongest military power. Like, so everyone pays attention to it, and it makes a significant difference who gets elected in America on the rest of the world's policies. But I don't think that like we're gonna fight. Like, voting in someone every 4 years doesn't really change too much. Like when I say I'm kind of conservative in my politics or whatever, I can't vote in America, so I don't really have a say in what goes on, and I'm not really that optimistic on like the political process in general these days. I think culturally things have to change because they're not going to change like politically, because politicians they only care about 4 years and only care about getting 4 years, and then especially America, then appeasing lobbyists and then getting a job at that corporation later on. Like, there's so much of that shit goes on again and again and again.
Yeah, it's inbreeding.
Exactly. It's like a nepotistic inbreeding circle, right? You get lobby A gives me money for my campaign. Cool, I kick them back, and then when I get out of Congress in 4 years' time or whatever, retire in 4 years' time, I get a job with your company, like as an advisor or on the board or whatever. It's just a fucking circle jerk, man. It's just, and it's so far removed from what the founding fathers of America wanted to set up in the first place. It's a just clown world. Like, this is as an outsider, like, looking at.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to blow my own trouble, but I think I know a lot more about like the American political system than the average American probably does.
Yeah.
Just because it's so interesting as an outsider.
Yeah.
Like, you have to kind of study it more because you weren't born into it. You know.
Who do you think is going to win?
If Trump doesn't get shot, he'll win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Or if he gets almost shot, he'll win even more.
Yeah. Well, that's happened a couple of times already. So, yeah.
Well, second, didn't they? They just tried to shoot him again.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right, on his golf course, on his own fucking golf. You didn't know about it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because the media is like, we'll sweep that under the rug.
Yeah. It was.
Don't worry about it.
Completely glossed over.
Don't worry about it.
And I saw another one. There was like a bomb in a car outside of Williams.
Oh, another one. What? You see,
that was pretty much. I was very close after that second. It's nuts.
What do you think are the chances of him getting whacked?
Well, whoever they're using, they seem to be brewing competent. So I think the chances are low. Like, they keep picking these faggots who can't shoot straight.
Although,
I think his chances are good.
my buddy Oliver Anwar, he posted on Twitter right after the first attempt. When the photo leaked of the guy who tried to shoot, he's like, of course it was some low T weirdo. It's so true. It's like,
I'm friends with Oliver. I love him.
Yeah,
he's great. Do you ever see Oliver doing? You ever see? How long have you been following him?
A year or two.
Okay, so you've seen his meme with the Belgian health minister, right?
Yeah.
That's my favorite meme I've ever seen in my life.
It's so funny, man. Or it's like muscles don't. What does it say? It's like, girls don't like muscles, as a quotation, and there's like guys with no girls and no muscles. He's the funniest fucking guy ever, man.
He's great.
Yes, it's like, that's cool. Like, he could do that, you know. He hasn't been like fucking attacked for his ideology yet. Maybe, I don't know, at some point. But okay, so what do you think? Here's the thing, because you said culturally things have to change in the States, much more so than politically.
I mean, I'm not just in the US, but everywhere. Like Australia, England.
Australia is pretty hard.
Australia's getting rough.
Yeah.
Like, how people don't like, if you don't. Australia is so far removed from like, our politics don't matter like anywhere. Like, no one really gives a shit, so no one really knows what's going on there. But like, and me having not lived there for like 5 years, I didn't really know what was going on there until I started paying attention and like talked to my sister and my brother who've got like houses there. Like, the real estate market in Australia is insane. Like to give context, right? The Australian dollar is about 60 cents on the US dollar right now, something like that. But house prices are like more expensive than the US ones.
Oh, damn.
It's like, you cannot, like, the average Australian cannot afford to buy a home, and there's a rental shortage because all the homes that are being bought up by wealthy foreign investors, a lot of them from like China. And so there's like no houses to buy, and there's nowhere to rent because the people who do own the houses don't even rent them. They just buy them to get a visa. Right? It's just perpetual. And then there's a shortage of like laborers because no one people aren't getting into the trades and stuff. So if you want to build a house from scratch, well, good luck finding someone to build it. and affording that too. It's a perfect storm of just a clusterfuck.
But that's only probably on the coastal cities. How
I mean, all of Australia is coastal cities. Like 90% of our population lives within like 10 miles of the coast.
Yeah,
that's where we all live.
Fuck, man, that's crazy. But the thing is, I think, okay, and I'm way less informed than you, and I give way less shits about it than you.
I probably should give less of a shit.
Yeah, probably. But I think if Trump wins, it will do culturally a lot as well, because he's a white man, and it will give people less of an excuse to just push a woke agenda even more. Right, and I think in the U.S. especially, it's getting really fucking dangerous for women. Actually, this whole woke transgender bullshit. Because to be honest, like it's men dressing up as women. Okay, you're a man dressing up as a woman. Okay, and now they're like going into girls' bathrooms. I wouldn't want my daughter to be in a public bathroom and then there's a man with a beard and muscles walking in with a fucking wig on. Okay, and I'm like, that is a little strange. And then sports, especially MMA, boxing, they're like, oh yeah, let's have a guy fight a woman. Let's see what happens. And we
all know what's gonna happen.
This
is not a surprise.
The victims are literally women. Like they're like, well, I'm fucked. I gotta compete against a biological male, aka a guy with a wig on, and that's fucked up. And as a woman, you can train your entire fucking life. Okay. You can commit your entire life to the goal of whatever, winning the Olympic goal or the world championship. And then there's like a biological male in there that is like the top 1,000 of men and just beats you.
Yeah.
And I mean, was there this? This was years before when one of the
Wimbledon.
At Wimbledon, the Williams, Serena or Venus Williams, and they're like, oh, I could beat any man. Blah blah blah, and then like the top 100 guy was like, okay, I'll do it, and he was half drunk and smoked cigarettes and beat the. Not saying that it's because women are suck, right? This is just because biologically speaking, it's a different thing.
I mean, you look at the I think another example of that was the US women's soccer team got beaten to by a bunch of 16-year-old boys.
Exactly, and
okay, it's like. My favorite Ayn Rand quote is like, you can ignore reality all you want, but you can't ignore the consequences of ignoring reality. Amen. And that's what's going on. That's exactly what's going on right now. Everyone's trying to pretend like it's like the emperor's got no clothes.
Yeah.
What's that?
I've heard that the emperor or something.
The emperor's new clothes or whatever. Like where it's an invisible. Yeah. His tailor makes him an invisible suit, and only he is so the thread's so fine that only he can see. He's actually just stark raving naked.
And
no one has the balls to tell him
exactly.
Naked, right? That's exactly the scenario we're in right now.
Yeah,
where everyone's deliberately ignoring.
It's women and children that are getting fucked by that, and I'm like, that's unfair because we should not force some crazy agenda. But we should actually celebrate our differences. And a society that is productive, efficient, and effective actually leverages the differences of the different genders, right? Absolutely. Because most women are more agreeable than most men. Most women are more socially calibrated than most men. I know. I've worked in the industry with most men. I know we men are fucking retarded. We're idiots, okay? We need to be taught how to be social, how to be calibrating, how to be charismatic. We need to be taught, most of us. There's some naturals out there, but women on average don't need to be taught that much. They just have that advantage over us. So if there was the Olympics about social thinking and empathy, they would beat our ass. Right. So and if a guy would come there with a wig on, he would still fucking lose. Yeah, he would not beat their ass. So it's again like a healthy society leverages that and doesn't try to force some crazy agenda into that where actually nobody benefits from.
Yeah. What's it? A really good quote I heard the other day was like, society is like a rotting corpse. And it's like, liberals are cheering for the maggots and conservatives are cheering for the corpse.
Damn.
And that's kind of the situation we're in right now. It's like, because conservatives haven't conserved anything.
Yeah.
Right? If you think about it, it's like a tug. Imagine like a tug of war, right?
Yeah.
Like you've got two teams pulling either side.
Yeah.
All we have done is progressively move more and more to the left for the last 100 years. Like nothing has moved progressively to the right. Everything has moved to the left. So that nothing has been conserved.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everything has been left.
But the thing is, even there too, is like this whole idea of two directions is fucking retarded in and of itself. Because if I look at it, I have a lot of liberal ideas within me that I think make absolutely sense.
Yeah.
I come from a very liberal social state in Austria.
Yeah.
My family got a lot of support from the state, especially when my mom brought us up alone. We couldn't have probably survived without the fucking state giving us money, right? But I also have a lot of conservative ideas where I'm like, hey, this is actually smart. Like, let's be careful with our culture. Let's maybe not let all immigrants in. Maybe let's check a little bit more what their background is. So a guy like me that is in a healthy fucking middle can't even find their team, so to speak, because it's either you go full crazy left or you go full crazy right. And the thing is, the crazier the left gets, the crazier the right gets. And the crazier people in the center seem. It's like when I say, like, well, I'm center or whatever, like, I like some... When I tell a far right-wing person that I like some liberal ideas, they're like, oh, you're some woke crazy. If I tell a leftist person that I like some far right ideas or some right ideas, they're like, oh, you're some far right anarchist, whatever.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm like, well, fuck. The whole idea of, like, there's a blue team and a red team makes zero fucking sense because it destroys the healthy middle. It destroys common sense. It replaces common sense with more and more extreme ideologies. And then that's a problem in and of itself. And then you want to put full-on tinfoil hat on and be like, okay, who is the person or who is the group of individuals that is trying to steer that fire between left and right, blue and red? Is there an agenda behind it by someone, by like a shadow cover, or is it rather just like people are fucking idiots and we just happen to do this?
Yeah, I mean, I thought that for the longest time that it's like, oh, it's not a conspiracy, it's just incompetence.
That's exactly what I'm thinking.
I thought that for the longest time, and I've come in the last since COVID, I've come to the conclusion that it can't. There's too much stuff that is a coincidence for it to be accidental. It's kind of, and too many people make money off these coincidences for it to be coincidental.
But then also there, I get it 100%, but also there I'm like, okay, how much of it is planned versus how much of it is just opportunistic? Right? So if I'm like a pharma industry, was it more like the pharma industry gets together with the politicians like, hey, we got to start this pandemic, we're going to make some shit up, and everybody buys our Pfizer thing, right? Or was it more like, oh, look at this, the media is going crazy over this COVID thing. Yeah, like, can we jump on it? Can we make something? Can we make a couple of millions? Oh, Jimmy knows the governor of so-and-so. You know what? Let's give this guy some money. So also there, I'm like, how much of it is planned?
Yeah.
How much of it is just people being smart about it?
I see I see exactly what you're saying with that.
What do you think it is?
I think it's probably like a bit of both. But like it's like there was so many things like in place with COVID is just a really classic example for everyone to lean on. But there was just too many. Every single like government on Earth minus like two, all stepping in sync with one another at the same time.
Yeah,
varying degrees.
Yeah,
it's a bit too like who is enforcing them to do that? Mm-hmm. And in a lot of cases, it was the World Economic Forum. Mm-hmm. Actually, it was the World Economic Forum because Belarus didn't do it.
That's right. That guy was like, "Fuck."
Lukashenko told them to go fuck themselves.
Yeah, I love that one.
Right? They didn't lock down.
Yeah.
So there were were all the governments like in on it? No, but there was definitely a plan leading into it, being like, okay, this is going to drop. Here's what we're going to do, and here's what we're going to force them to do. And if they don't, here's what we're going to take from them. There was like so at a certain point there is like some coordination, I think.
Whenever I come to that conclusion, whether it's right or not, of like, okay, there's the elite or whatever, they're steering everything.
I think elite's the wrong word. Parasites is probably a better word because well, think about it. Like the common who gets fucked. The common man, the
poorer you are, the more fucked you get.
Well, like the harder working you are, the more you get fucked.
Yeah, true.
Right?
True.
The guy who's, working 2 construction jobs, like trying to provide for his family, he's the one getting fucked.
Yeah.
He's more elite than the guy sitting behind the desk, pushing a few buttons.
True.
Like that guy ain't elite. He's just more manipulative. He's more he's more cutthroat. He's less empathetic.
Yeah.
He's more psychopathic.
It gives less shit and more psychopathic. Exactly.
Right. I wouldn't call them elite. I think I don't like to use that term elite to describe people like that.
The more I think about stuff like that, the more my inner Sigma male comes out, and it's just like, you know what? Just unplug from this whole shit, make as much money as you can, have it in as many different countries as you can, so you're not relying on one government, And whenever shit goes down in X country, pack your stuff, take your money, pack your loved ones, go somewhere else.
So that is a approach, and I started down that path probably 4 years ago. I've since changed my mind because I look at that as like, I thought that was the solution, and then I keep seeing like it just catches up with you everywhere you go, right? Like, and I've kind of come to the conclusion that that's kind of the coward's way out, because we can't fix anything if we keep running away. Eventually, you have to form communities. Eventually, you have to surround yourself with a bunch of like-minded men. Yeah, men specifically. Other men have to come together, right, and put their foot down. I mean, you look at what's going on in Ireland right now. Like, Ireland is a great example because Ireland didn't do shit. Have never done anything bad, right? All they've done is be Catholic and have a bunch of sex and have a bunch of babies, right? Yeah. But they never had slaves. They never colonized anyone. They never started a war really with it. They just fought against the British who came in and tried to like take over them, right? But now they're being all these like third world immigrants have been shoved down their throat and are being forcefully planted. Like, this is all over my Twitter feeds. I know, see this stuff all the time. I need to stop being on Twitter. But you got all these like tiny little Irish towns, like 5,000 people, like 1,000 people, whatever. And overnight, like a bus rolls in, and you've got like 300 like Syrians. Just bloop, if it's like a 2,000 person town, like 10% of the population is now Syrians. Why are they here? Why do the Irish need to like accommodate these people? There is no need. There's no reason why they have to be there. And the Irish are finally stepping up and saying, fuck you. Like, there was some of the most badass graffiti I've ever seen in my life on like, they were building these migrant centers in these small towns in Ireland. And it was this graffiti on one of the buildings said, Irish only or it burns. And they burnt it. They torched the place. They torched the place.
But that's also not the right approach.
I think eventually you got to do something. I'm not telling anybody to go out and do anything illegal, but like being polite hasn't worked. You know what I'm saying? Being polite kind of got us to the point where we're at now. Yeah, where everyone just where crooked politicians think they can just take bribes from whoever and fuck over their own citizens. Yeah, and not give a shit. And they'll roll over and take it. They do it in a virtual signaling way, too. Yeah. They're like, oh, we're tolerant. We're helping people. My question is, though, and this is something that I keep noticing, especially Twitter, how much of that actually is happening versus how much of that is blown out of proportion? Like when you say the example of, okay, they're rolling in with a bus. How many towns in Ireland is it happening? 1 or 50 or 500? So, because when I go on Twitter, it's like, hundreds, they're coming to invasion, right? And then I go somewhere else, and it's like, oh, Ireland is helping these poor families. So it's so much about how it gets framed. And it all comes down again to, oh, how can we twist this in the most leftist propagandizing way versus how much can we twist it in the most rightist propagandizing way? And then on top of that, you sprinkle in a shitload of algorithmic power that is like, well, the Stirling guy, he sure as hell loves a little bit of a conservative direction, so let's give this guy all the shit that he's into. Let's feed into his bubble, right? And then, well, this other guy is in the middle, so he's well-balanced, but that doesn't work because if someone's well-balanced, they don't go down rabbit holes, they don't spend more time on our platforms, ergo, we're losing fucking money because our business is not delivering to the people that are using it, the platform on social media. Our business is selling to corporations, the advertising. So we want that people stay on our platforms as long as humanly possible. And if someone is well-balanced, they're not going down the rabbit holes, they get their information, they're happy, and then they're having fun out in the fucking real world where the sun is shining and the butterflies are flying around. We don't want that motherfucker to be outside in the fucking real world. So let's fucking radicalize him a little bit. Let's sprinkle in some lefty stuff and see if he jumps on that. Oh, doesn't do it? We'll sprinkle in some righty stuff. Oh, that he likes. You know what? Let's show him more footage of Moroccans invading Italian villages. All right. Oh, he likes. Oh, boom. 2 months later, 2 weeks later, 200 posts on his feed later, this motherfucker's radicalized. Next thing you know, he spends 2, 3, 4 hours a day, a week on these fucking platforms chatting with other like-minded people because it's in our human nature that we want to be in our own echo chamber. We want to communicate with other like-minded people. And that, in essence, is a great idea. I love that you said that. You want to surround yourself with other like-minded people in order to be really safe. You got to build your own fucking tribe. Offline.
Exactly.
You don't like no one. You can't do anything from like your phone.
Exactly. Like keyboard warrior is not.
Yeah,
gonna
it doesn't really do anything. Okay, you can. I mean, look, there are certain people that people who are political commentators. That's not me, right?
Yeah.
They can draw attention to certain issues. Cool. They're doing something to kind of, I guess, push the narrative or push people's attention in a certain direction. Maybe highlight stuff that's going on, some injustices or whatever. But you, as like, if you have dedicated your entire life, like you just said, if you're spending like half of your waking life like just getting fired up about stuff that you can't really do anything to change.
Yeah.
And more importantly, you're just doing it online.
Yeah.
This like online activism isn't really a thing. Like there's nothing you can really do like online. You have to be in front of people to make any difference with stuff to convince people to make a change in anything.
Yeah.
And most importantly, you have to build community. Like, you have to actually get together with people in real life.
So true. Also because you have a fucking face in front of you, not some fucking account. So naturally,
like an avatar that's like faceless and anonymous, and
so naturally you communicate much differently to that person because
there's the ramification of violence if you
you
offend the guy.
not just that, but also just like people are much more empathetic when they fucking speak to you, right? I mean, you've seen it like maybe when you're chatting with someone like "fuck you," maybe you wouldn't even say that in fucking person. But anyways, the problem I think is, now you're getting together with like-minded people, you're just reinforcing your bubble. You're reinforcing your ideas. So now everybody talks about like, oh, the immigrants are coming, everything is going down to shit. And I'm like, okay, well, but where is the person that challenges that? And the problem, like, you need to have your ideas challenged all the times. And you want to challenge other people's ideas because that's the only way to find the truth. That's what science is based on, right? It's like I come up with a hypothesis and then everybody's going to try to prove me wrong, and I have to literally defend that, right? If you write a doctor's PhD thesis, you literally defend the fucking PhD thesis, because if you can't defend it, it's not going to be true, and if you can't successfully defend it, now you've defended your thesis, and now it's good. So it's like it has to survive in the arena of ideas. But when you're just in your own echo chamber, nobody fucking challenges that, number one, which means you never get closer to the truth. In fact, you actually continuously move further away from the truth because the ideas are extreme, making each other more extreme. And then the second thing is you never actually get to learn other perspectives, which is the groundwork for a society that respects each other and can actually fucking work in unison. So I consider myself left-leaning in many aspects, but also right-leaning in many aspects. And I continuously try to find the fucking truth. Because I'm like, is this radicalizing me? Because we talk about the woke people being fucking radicalized. I'm like, look at these idiots with all their propaganda. What a bunch of idiots. And I'm like, well, if they have propaganda, what are the chances that we have our own propaganda?
Right.
And then I'm like, this is getting really out of hand because now I'm investing more and more percentage of my brain power on that shit because I'm a curious person. I want to figure out what the truth is. How many men dressed as women are entering a fucking kids' bathroom? How many immigrants are really there? Versus how much war are we mongering that actually creates people that need to leave their fucking country? Because at the same time, if I had war in Austria or wherever I am, I would also want my neighbors to fucking take me in.
Yeah.
Right? But then, yeah, how many people are taking advantage of that and they're just fucking there to be criminals? I'm like, fuck. I just want to make fucking money and help people and play fucking video games and eat a fucking steak and have sex with beautiful women and love my girlfriend and my family and make babies and ride a fucking bike and go surfing and fucking go racing. I want to do that. But now I got to deal with this fucking shit of like, how many immigrants are there? How many men dressed as women are there? And women's rights and men's rights and white versus black and blue versus red and left versus right. Where am I on this fucking spectrum? I never signed up for this shit. I just want to fucking have a good life, man. How do you defend yourself?
Well, like,
how do you stay productive?
You didn't sign up for it, but that doesn't matter. It's kind of been forced on us.
That's what I'm saying. How do you? You're an extremely successful person. You're extremely fucking driven, but also you really deal with politics. How do you find that fucking balance, man?
It's kind of it's just a thing. It's kind of like I just like to know what's going on. I like to stay informed. I like to stay like educated.
How do you not get sucked in?
I don't like being ignorant of things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you not get sucked in? What's your secret?
I mean, limit it to like
chats with the boys, group. That to be fair, I get most of my I learn about stuff through like group chats more than anything else.
Yeah.
I'll group chat with my boys here in Marbella or whatever. A bunch of guys that we all kind of think the same, or whatever. Someone comes across something that's kind of either funny or informative or like might affect our like a war coming,
Yeah.
It'll end up in the group chat, So I kind of outsource it a little bit.
That makes that's smart, man.
Yeah, I think or the maybe a few Telegram channels that I follow, and I will just like check them like once or twice a day, because anything that's like, I'm not going to look at everything.
Yeah,
but
if it affects you,
if anything catches their attention, if it's like I'm outsourcing the trust or the outsourcing not the decision making, but like the resource gathering to like a trusted source.
That's smart.
So rather than just getting, because I've seen people get sucked into it endlessly.
Yeah,
and they end up doing nothing.
Yeah,
I'm like, well, that's not me. I ain't got the time for that. I ain't got time to do nothing. I've got plenty of things to do.
It's almost like you would need like an assistant that gathers and then summarizes it,
Yeah.
And
a little bit.
And that assistant is like a robot, like a fact. It's just like, here are the facts.
ChatGPT doing it for me.
Yeah, but no, that shit is also crazy left wing leaning. Have you seen?
There's certain questions you can't ask it. Yeah.
Have you seen the thing is like, tell me about like why would I vote for Trump? And it's like, I don't give political opinions.
And
it's
then
like,
ask Kamala.
Yeah, she's great. And I'm like, oh, fucking scary, man.
Yeah.
Fuck that, man.
Everything's like, there is. I don't think there is any such a thing as like a apolitical source of information. Once you've said like, there isn't.
Now we're going down.
Like I think like everything has. There is nothing. I don't think there's a single piece of information that is center.
Yeah.
Everything has a link to it.
True, because it's just our language.
Yeah.
Like it's hard for our language to convey facts, because like we can, just by choosing a single word differently, you can change the entire narrative, right? Like Russia invaded Ukraine,
right,
versus whatever. Russia is dealing with Ukraine.
Annexed to Ukraine.
Exactly. Right. It's fucking words, man. Fuck. Yeah. Would you ever run for politics in any sort of way?
No one's gonna take a dude with my background seriously.
That's what they said about Trump.
But I support people politically. I no one will ever know, but I've funded a few people.
No shit.
I donate here and there to people who I think are doing the right thing.
Interesting.
Who might not necessarily have the resources to,
Yeah.
I can, if I can help them pay rent for the next 6 months, cool, I'll do that. Then that takes the stress off of them to keep doing more of what they're really good at.
Yeah.
So I do that behind the scenes to a few people.
Have you seen that guy in Cyprus, that YouTuber who's now in the parliament in the year of what's his name? Pretty much. For something, he's just I'm a YouTuber. I'm trying to get into the parliament, and he got legit voted.
Nice.
And yeah, and I'm like, it's so fucking funny, and I'm like, oh shit, there's a guy. I want to have him on my podcast. So I go on Instagram. And there's literally like, he DM'd me like in 2019. Oh, I see you in Cyprus. Let's hang out. Yeah. It's always like that, man. you know Anatoly, the weightlifting guy who has this funny Instagram skits where he acts like he's the janitor.
Oh, I've seen that guy. Yeah. Picks up
exactly
super heavyweight. Yeah.
So I'm like, oh man, I love this guy's stuff. Super funny, right? I go to his Instagram. I go to DMs. He DM'd me in like 2018. We met on the streets of Kiev. He's like, Max, I follow all your stuff. And if you go through the DMs, it's like he's inviting me to hang out with him like 5 times. Like, bro, let's go to the gym together. And I was like, nah, I'm busy. Later maybe. I'm like, I don't want to fucking meet this guy. And I'm like, God damn it, that's him. It's so inspiring to see so many people over the years just fucking getting shit done.
Right.
You're like, when I met this guy, he was just some gym bro in Kiev, which is arguably even harder to get out of than Austrian villages.
Right.
And now this guy's in like Dubai, LA, sponsorship deals and shit like that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's kind of like going back to what you said. It's like you have to have pain to even fucking get somewhere.
Yeah. There's no, like, it's kind of funny. Because I would have looked at that guy because I didn't know anything about him. I've just seen the videos you're talking about.
Yeah.
Where he's a janitor, he picks up the heavyweight. And I would have thought, oh, this is just some guy who had overnight success on TikTok. And you're telling me he's been at this for like, 4 years or whatever.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that. There's people who are like look at Alex Hormozy, another example. Overnight success. No, it wasn't. He's been at this for like a decade or something.
Yeah.
The guy's been grinding for forever.
So true.
It's like it's not overnight success. My buddy Justin Waller, another good example. He exploded in like 6 months all over YouTube. Unfortunately, took it down. But like, his Instagram's like 1 million followers now.
Oh, YouTube took it down?
Yeah, he got taken down like beginning of the year.
Why? What was the...
For misassociation with Andrew Tate. Yeah. Actually, no, it was last year. I think it was last year got taken down. But his Instagram's like 1 million followers now. But
Baller.
He overnight success. Yeah, he happened to run like a business for like 8 years in one of the hardest industries on earth, construction.
Yeah,
overnight success.
yeah.
No, it's not. Like it's kind of. I find that when you actually know people like this personally, it's very like reassuring.
Yeah. Oh, I just got to stay at it.
I just got to be consistent. All you have to be is consistent. That is it. That is the only thing. Like, there's nothing I have seen like. And I use myself as a really bad example of this. I consider myself to be incredibly lazy and incredibly inefficient. When I look at the people I have as friends, they're just way better at shit than I am. And like maybe I'm a bit more organized, but they're way better at like they may make decisions faster. They're like better. Maybe they're better problem solvers, or like they handle stress better, or they're better at hiring people. They've got a better system, a better team. Blah 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 blah. They have a great morning routine, right? I have no morning routine. like, I roll out of bed and I open my laptop. That's my morning routine. And I'm like, all the I keep looking for like what's the common denominator?
Yeah.
Why am I friends with these people?
Yeah.
Like how on earth am I in that social circle? And I'm like, I'm just consistent. I just don't stop working. That's basically it. I just keep going. I don't quit.
Every successful person has that in common. They're all like, everybody's so much better than me. Why the fuck am I even in this circle? It's just extreme humility for whatever reason.
It's I've heard this before. It's extreme humility coupled with like a sense, like the feeling that you're actually special and unique.
Exactly.
It's those two paradoxical things together.
It's a twisted combination of narcissism and complete opposite of it, and imposter syndrome.
Yes.
Narcissism and imposter syndrome. If you got a healthy, good mix of both, that's how you know you're going to crush.
Yeah, yeah. That describes everybody I know.
Right? Yeah. It's so fucking funny. I'm like, fuck, it's so weird. What was your breakthrough in terms of your personal brand?
I think it was getting my YouTube off the ground.
Yeah.
Was basically a case study in like networking. I knew I was able to kind of reverse engineer who I needed to talk to by studying like the landscape of that dating space on the YouTube that I was at. Like the people I ended up doing podcasts with in the first like year, it was a case of like, okay, this guy, and this guy, right? I need to talk to them. Who have they talked to who's like one tier lower than them? Like they might have 200k followers or 100k followers or whatever. Okay, who do they know who's got like 50? And then who do they know that's got like 10? And who do they know that's got like 100?
That's sick, actually.
And I reverse engineer that chain.
You monkey bar your way
from the smaller one to the later one. Because they know each other.
That's a good one,
They vouch for each other, right?
Yeah.
Like in the internet world, they're friends.
Yeah.
Right? So it's the same way I just connected you with a couple of people.
You come in and you're like, hey, you want to be on this guy's podcast?
Yeah.
I'll introduce you. That was sick.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's the same. I just reverse engineered the process, and it's like, okay, if I start here, then I can get to here, and then here, and then here. Or if I was fortunate early on, I got a couple of really big ones to start with, and I'm like, okay, I can use this as credibility to leverage to this one who doesn't know me.
Yeah,
but because they know them.
Yeah, and they vouch for them, at least indirectly. Like, associate with this guy. Well, you've been on to.
Yeah, and credibility is like transferable that way. In the eyes of the audience.
Yeah,
which is just by virtue of you being in some way associated with them, their credibility transfers to you to some degree.
Yeah.
So by me being associated, I know I'm friends with all the people I've done podcasts with, but it's just like their audience then trusts you a little bit more, and then the more times they see you again and again and again, it builds that trust. And I think, and the other thing I think with me is I knew what I was good at teaching, and I just focused purely on that. Like there's a million directions I could have gone in with my YouTube channel, whatever. I could have done street interviews and stuff like that. That would have been like, I could have done like the OnlyFans girl route, talking to OnlyFans girls and stuff like that. I just decided, you know what? I'm lazy. I like to shoot I like to shoot 3 months of content one day. The only way for me to do that is to sit in front of a camera in my living room and just press the button and not change anything. If you came into my apartment, all the lights are in the same place. The camera hasn't moved for 12 months.
You put on different shirts?
I just change the jacket.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's all I do. Just change the jacket. I don't even change the shirt and the pants. You can't see the pants. Sometimes I don't wear them.
That's the best.
I'm not even wearing them when
nobody knows if we're wearing pants right now.
Right. So
we call it the Pantless Podcast. That would actually be funny. It was like after 100 episodes, by the way.
No, you have a camera that shows like the bottom of your leg, so they know you're not wearing any pants.
Like a GoPro. There.
You just cut to the table cam, and it's like
that would actually be funny.
It would.
And it's like, let's see what underwear a person is wearing, and then it becomes a thing,
right?
And people wear like funny underwear, like Mickey Mouse underwear and shit. Like, oh yeah, I'm wearing my Mickey Mouse. And it's like only in one part of the podcast it gets revealed, so you got to watch the whole thing
all the way to the end. Yeah.
Exactly, you don't know where it is, right?
Oh yeah, it could be anywhere. In the
exactly.
podcast. Yeah.
And then people comment like timestamps, like 057. You know.
Yep.
Like we should make that idea. The underwear, the undie.
Didn't we have another idea the last time I was on this?
Yeah, true. What was the fucking idea, man?
Oh, it was
a good idea. It was a business venture.
It was a business idea for like a professional troll.
That's right.
To pay someone, if anyone wants, hit DM me. If you want this job, I will pay you to be a professional troll and start arguments with losers in my Instagram and YouTube.
You know what we've done ever since then? I haven't talked about this publicly, but we actually created a fake account of a lady that now exactly because from that conversation that starts commenting underneath all my reels just to entice other people to get pissed off and comment back. This guy's full of shit. That's not how it works. And then people are like, well, shut up, you know.
Stupid bitch.
It's literally just us. Like,
did they call her ugly?
Sometimes all kinds of things.
Oh, that's great.
It's all, and we're just sitting there enjoying the mayhem, you know. And here's the crazy. Okay, tinfoil hat back on. What we're doing with our social media just to get people to fight, so we capitalize on that. They're probably the same shit that's happening on a world stage.
Another level.
Yeah, just let them fight. Let them go left or right. We're here to cash in. Fuck, man. We are the evil.
It's the same thing.
We are the evil we swear to destroy. What is that? What is that famous quote? I have become the very evil I swore to destroy. Isn't that a Oppenheimer or something? I've become the evil, the destroyer of words, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have become the destroyer of worlds parts of it.
Yeah, that's basically what we're doing with troll Instagram accounts. We're ruining the world.
Well, I haven't done it yet. You have done it.
I have done it. That's it. The Matrix is coming. The AI is coming.
But that goes back to your point before the only reason that works is because like the algorithm rewards controversy and it rewards things that create emotions in people, which gets them to engage in this tapping into the most base parts of human nature.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, because we say, well, the algorithm rewards evil algorithm, but the algorithm just models what works in real life.
Behavior,
yeah, because if we wouldn't respond to outrage, the algorithm, if we would respond to whatever, kitty cats, the algorithm would respond. Yeah, my girlfriend was. She wakes up, she just scrolls kitty cat content for 3 hours. On weekend, it's a
quick segue. My missus was following this famous Instagram cat, which is like a blind cat.
Oh, I'm sure my girlfriend.
Bowie the blind cat.
Oh my god, so
and
cute.
She, no joke, like she would start crying watching the videos, so I had to block the cat. on her phone. I'd like fucking stop that.
Fuck you, blind cat.
Stupid fucking cat.
You know, my girlfriend follows cats. She followed this cat that had a spine issue. So only the front paws worked. So it's, scooping her over the floor. My girlfriend, so cute, look at this. And she just gets sucked in for 3 hours. So on the weekends when she doesn't have to go to work, I'm always get up the same time. So I get up, I'm like, okay, I have like 3 hours until she finishes her Instagram rampage. Okay, let me get all my shit done right away. And then I come back and she's like full on scrolling. I'm like, how long have you been scrolling? She's like, I don't know. Oh, 3 hours, whatever. Sucked in. Oh my god. Sucked by the kitty cats. The real question is who's owning these accounts and what are they doing?
Well, I know what the person who looks like who owns the blind cat.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, it's just some cat lady. It's just some cat.
Well, now she's rich. Now she's an entrepreneur.
Well, I don't know how she's monetizing the cat.
She's a boss babe.
I don't think she's got a GoFundMe. If she had a GoFundMe for the cat, I'm like, that's the biggest grift I've ever seen. What are you going to do? Replace its eyes?
You're my cat.
Like how you can't cure it. It doesn't have eyes. It's blind. What are you going to do?
Well, you could still sell My cat loves her treats from cattree.com. She loves it so much. Use my code.
I guarantee she's like.
Use my code for 10% off.
I guarantee that woman is monetizing.
What's her Instagram account? Let's shout her out. Let's shout out the cat lady.
The cat is Moe.
I should have the cat lady on the podcast.
You should have the cat
with the kitty cat.
With the cat, yeah.
That's one episode my girlfriend will watch. I love the kitty. Bring back the kitty. But that's
the cat needs its own microphone.
I want to.
And its own camera.
Yeah, its own GoPro.
Just cut the cat every now and then.
You're right though. I would love to speak to a person like that. I want to see what they have to say. You know, what's the account? There's so many cats.
It's called Moet, the blind cat.
What?
Moe, like the champagne.
Oh, that's name.
Moe the blind cat.
Gotta give it a fucking name.
Yeah,
it's all it's like there's probably a course.
Versace, the three-legged dog.
Exactly. How to make a ton of money with your cute dog. That's how I would do it. Because hey. You want to do something? You love animals. You want to do something good for animals and make a ton of money, escaping your 9 to 5. Follow my 3-step system. Step 1: you go to a shelter. You pick the most underprivileged kitty cat.
This is a prick. This guy,
love it.
This guy makes my girlfriend cry.
He is cute as fuck, though. Look at him. He's in a box. He's filling out the box. Oh, he's got a dog friend. Disabled dogs and cats come in all sizes. It's cute. It's cute. I want to talk to that lady. How many? 371,000 followers. I can get her on.
I can get it. I can pull that. I've got enough clout to get the.
But this is exactly how I imagine she would look like.
Told you. I told you.
Let's see where they're based. Let's find out. It would be funny if they're in Miami or somewhere. I'm like, hey, let's get out. Honestly, I really want to talk. All kinds of people.
Yeah.
And that's the crazy thing, man. I will
be treating into that episode if you get that.
Let's do it.
I will be watching.
How about holy shit! It's time flies when you're having fun. So what I've had you on, and then I think a couple episodes later I had a feminist on, and people lost their shit. They lost their collective shit. And the funny thing is, people were like, "Oh, smart marketing move, Max. You're trying to associate." And you know how I got the feminist? It was like I was on the way to Vienna. I was sitting in the first class train. I'm like, oh, I have to do a podcast. I don't know anyone in Vienna. I asked my assistant, can you find someone with a bigger brand that would be interesting to talk to? She's like, yeah, let me hit up some people. And she hit up model agencies because she was like, what if there's like a girl that has 200,000 followers or whatever? So she finds this model and she's a model and she has whatever, 200,000 followers on TikTok. And I'm like, fantastic. Say no more. Sounds cool. Pretty girl. I could talk about social dynamics together with her, right? She's just about to come to the podcast. A day before I check her Instagram, I'm like, oh, we have a common friend, Kevin, my good friend Kevin. So I'm asking Kevin, hey, is she cool? And he's like, yeah, she's super cool, super smart. And then I check out her content, and she has all this feminist content. So I'm like, fuck yeah, this is even better. Let's talk. So that's how I figured that out. And it was great. And, she had some very good points. I had some very good points. And what I really loved is, like, it was the exact situation of, like, someone outside of my bubble, outside of the manosphere, and hearing her opinion on that. And I was so proud of me and her, of us together collectively, to have a fucking good conversation where we disagreed on things and we didn't just fucking become personal and insulting. And I really enjoy talking to her. I want to have her on again. But people in the comments lost their shit.
They're the ones that are doing the insulting, yeah.
Exactly. They're like, get at, like, she says things like, oh, if you take me out on a walk, if your date is taking a walk, I'm not a dog. Right? Invite me for a fucking... Exactly. And I'm like, that's funny. Right? But guys got triggered. Like, nobody wants to date you anyways. Meanwhile, she's happily married with a child. So...
I get the same thing. I get the reverse. I get... Of
course,
I get... Why would anyone want to date, like, a 40-year-old balding degenerate? Well, a lot of women, apparently.
Yeah. Your mom once... In fact, your mother once... Oh man, dude, it's a pleasure to have you on, man.
Yeah, it's great.
Anything else?
Great. Thank you for coming to my town.
Yeah, man. Fuck yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. Anything else you wanna throw out there in the world?
Nothing. No, this has been good.
All right, man. Where can people find you? How can they learn from you? How can they
go to if you want. We didn't talk about anything that I teach, so that's because you didn't learn any. You didn't give away any of the secret sauce that I can give.
Dude, let's do it. Fuck it. We can talk for 10 more minutes.
I don't need to. The mystery.
Okay, love it.
Go to my YouTube, Stirling Cooper. That is where you'll find me, or stirlingcooper.com. You can find links to all my stuff there. Twitter is Stirling Wisdom, and Instagram is Stirling Cooper as well.
The coolest thing is, okay, so if you're like now listen to Stirling and you're like, this guy got some interesting points, go on YouTube and get your mind blown. All right? And be like, wait a minute. The interesting points are all on his fucking YouTube. Like this is way more. Go down a rabbit hole. You've inspired,
and
like,
your wife or girlfriend will thank you.
Yes, she just don't tell her.
Yeah,
just make it a secret and just blow her away. Yeah. Just one day, and they're like, "How did you learn this? What happened?" So you're doing a service to all the women out there. A big service. How many men have you coached over your life?
I think we're in like the high 5 figures.
Damn.
Yeah.
How many babies have you? Do you know?
There's at least one because they told me.
Yeah.
I've had one person reach out and say that.
They're like my son. I think you told me that. Didn't he name him after you?
No, they didn't name them after me. I think I suggested that in the email as a joke. They didn't do it.
All right. So if you want a lot of babies and a very happy girlfriend/girlfriends or wife, check out Stirling. His channel is great. I love your stuff. We're going to link it all down in the description below. And now let's get some steak and cake.
Nice.
Boom. Let's go. Thanks for being on.
I'm so privileged to talk to all these wonderful people. Actually, tomorrow we're flying to Miami for 2 days. I'll have more amazing podcasts. And then we're flying to LA to a party in the Hollywood Hills. And then we're staying there for 5 days. We're staying in a baller villa in LA, and then we're going to Scottsdale, New York, Austin, and so on and so forth. Anyways, I'm not doing this to brag, maybe a little bit, but I'm doing this to show you that there's a really awesome life out there. So whether you're stuck in a 9-to-5 right now and you want to start with your own coaching business, we can help you. Whether you're a coach already, but you're not nowhere near making as much money as you'd like, and it's hard, it's difficult, you can't delegate it, you can't automate it like I do, we can help you too. Either way, there's a link down in the description below of this episode. It brings you to a call. You can literally book a call with me and my team directly. It's a one-on-one call, and on that call we can help you get started to make your first 3 to 5K a month on the side, maybe 10K a month, or scale and automate your existing business. We have clients, like I said, that make up to $500,000 each and every month. So if you're making not $500K a month, we can probably help you. Link down in the description below. Thank you so much for listening and watching. I appreciate the living hell out of you, and talk soon.